Jiang Fan faces the atorifious nascent soul of Chen Jing, while Venerate Zinni's suspicions deepen. A master and disciple stand on a precipice, bound by a deadly secret. Leave a like and subscribe to walk this path. Jiang Fan felt inexplicably confused and frowned, saying, "Save your strength to kill the ancient giant." He had no grudge against Chen Jing. The only conflict was over half of the soul awakening divine nails, but it wasn't worth a life-or-death struggle. "It's not up to you." Chen Jing gazed indifferently at Jiang Fan, releasing the cultivation of an atorifious nascent soul. Dirt and gravel whipped around him, shaking in the air. Everyone in the heavenly mechanism pavilion felt a suffocating pressure. Jiang Fan's pupils shrank. Atorifious nascent soul? How could it be? The last time Chen Jing came to the heavenly mechanism pavilion to pick up True Word Venerable, he was still a 5 apertures nascent soul. Now he had suddenly leaped to the atorifious nascent soul. In terms of cultivation speed, he was comparable to Jiang Fan. Yet, Jiang Fan had undergone trials from Venerable Lianjing and had been infused with spirit rain from Wu Gu Venerable. Could Chen Jing also have had such opportunities? What was going on with this guy's cultivation? However, even the atorifious nascent soul didn't pose a significant threat to Jiang Fan. Killing him wouldn't be too difficult. Staring at Chen Jing, Jiang Fan said calmly, "Leave the heavenly mechanism pavilion, don't disgrace yourself." If it were another formidable figure, challenging him so openly, the opponent would be struck down by him before they could utter a threat. But this was Chen Jing, the disciple of True Word Venerable and the direct brother of Nangong Xiaoyan. For the sake of True Word Venerable, and even more for Nangong Xiaoyan's sake, right? How could he kill her brother before her eyes? Chen Jing said coldly, "Tell me not to disgrace myself." "Jiang Fan, do you think you're qualified to say that to me?" Jiang Fan was growing impatient. He was just about to act and drive him away. Countless atmospheres approached from the direction of the underground palace. A rough count showed dozens of them. Leading them were more than a dozen young men, all with a cultivation of atorifious nascent soul. Each had an elder from their sect accompanying them to prevent them from losing control. Jiang Fan frowned. "What did you bring helpers?" Chen Jing replied indifferently. "To kill you, why would I need helpers? I merely invited the Taikang 18 sons as witnesses. Let them witness the return of the Taikang Heavenly Pride King from back then." Heavenly Pride King. Chen Jing, Jiang Fan looked puzzled. Chen Jing was already 26 or 7, and not long ago was a 5 apertures nascent soul. Such qualifications could claim the title of Taikang Heavenly Pride King. Also, what did return mean? Shh, one after another, powerful young figures with intimidating presence descended. Their ages ranged from above 20 to below 30. The number was precisely 16. Except for the fallen Zhang Kaisheng, one person was missing. "Brother Chen Jing, have you returned to the atorifious nascent soul?" The first to land was an atorifious nascent soul woman from the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple. At 25 or 6 years old, her beauty was remarkable. Her bright eyes were shimmering as she stared at Chen Jing. "When I received your message, I thought it was fake." Another youthful man in a Taoist robe, thin and frail, landed gracefully. He was the contemporary prodigy of Sanking Mountain. He twirled his horsetail whisk and smiled. "Since you self-destructed your cultivation and reproved the path of God transformation, Taikang State has turned cold. We Taikang 18 sons have all either gone insane or closed ourselves off. We no longer roam the outside world. The martial path in Taikang State lost its splendor because of our retreat. But now you have finally returned. Taikang State will come alive again." Jiang Fan was repeatedly shocked. Judging from their words, did it mean Chen Jing once destroyed his own cultivation? His current realm resulted from recultivating. That was a bit astonishing. The path Jiang Fan traversed, from the Qi cultivation realm to the present, was filled with hardships and challenges. Only he understood. To start anew, he felt no certainty of reaching his current realm again. But Chen Jing had once cultivated to the nascent soul realm's peak. Then he dismantled his cultivation and started over. A massive doubt in Jiang Fan's heart was suddenly resolved. Why did True Word Venerable take on someone as mediocre as Chen Jing as a disciple? As it turned out, Chen Jing wasn't mediocre. He was starting anew. Chen Jing stared calmly at Jiang Fan. "Surprised, right? Actually, I'm also very surprised. I was once a nascent soul peak expert who touched the divinity transformation realm. But I was overly aggressive for advancement and chose the wrong path with my master to transform together. which caused me to be stuck at 9 acupoint nascent soul, unable to awaken. Now I'm on a new path and it's the most suitable for me. Soon I will awaken into God transformation and become a venerate above all beings. Jiang Fan was secretly amazed. The spirit sound priest had once said that to awaken from madness, there were only 2 outcomes. One was awakening to God transformation. The other was to abolish the nascent soul. The madness would lift, but one must start anew. Unexpectedly, someone truly walked the second path in this world, and in addition found a completely new path to God transformation. I should thank you, Chen Jing said indifferently. It was your provocation that helped me find a new path. Jiang Fan looked a little peculiar. Chen Jing's words, could it be about him and true word venerable together? Could such a thing provoke him? Could this guy have feelings for his master? He waved his hand. No need for thanks in matters like these. I found joy in it and didn't find it hard. In Chen Jing's eyes, a trace of malevolence appeared, and he said in a sinister tone, No need to provoke me. My master has clarified it was a misunderstanding, and I believe you didn't dare touch her. Jiang Fan shrugged and said, Didn't your master tell you we met again in Hunyuan State? What? Chen Jing's gaze tightened, recalling his master sitting in a daze by the spirit pond. Could it be that something happened between his master and Jiang Fan again? He asked in a deep voice, What happened between you? Speak, Jiang Fan said, Not much really, just 2 people without clothes hugging together. Crunch. Chen Jing's eyes flashed with coldness. And she didn't kill you? Jiang Fan helplessly spread his hands. If she killed me, that would be murder of her betrothed. Chen Jing's eyes shot sharp, piercing cuts. He shouted, Shut up, don't insult my master, Jiang Fan teased. Oh, you don't know yet. Her father, Xingyuan Venerable, has already betrothed her to me. Soon we'll get married. By then, as her disciple, you should come and support us. What? Chen Jing stumbled, incredulous. That's impossible. Jiang Fan, stop with your nonsense. Jiang Fan crossed his arms and said, Call me by name while you still can. Before long, you will have to start calling me brother-in-law. Boom. Chen Jing's aura exploded, sending sand and stones flying all around. The Taikang 18 sons around him were forced to step back. They shot angry glances at Jiang Fan. Where did this wild brat come from spewing nonsense here? How dare he talk to our brother Chen Jing like that? We've been secluded for so long. Has this newcomer forgotten the renown of the Taikang 18 sons? Jiang Fan glanced over them. His expression was calm. Before coming, you all didn't bother to find out who I am. The elders behind the Taikang 18 sons couldn't help but change their expressions. Fan's achievements, but the elders know all too well. His journey to the heavenly realm shook the 9 states. His exploits on the heavenly mountain battlefield made his name renowned throughout the world. Each of these accomplishments could become a legend, to be passed down through the long history of Taikang State. In terms of merits, Jiang Fan had long surpassed the young generation and even most of the older generation. Do not be rude and do not offend Jiang's sect master. You can watch the excitement, but don't get involved lightly. You've been in seclusion for too long. If you knew some things, you wouldn't say what you just said. Several elders quickly admonished their juniors. This instead sparked their curiosity and confusion as they all looked at Jiang Fan. What could a mere 19-year-old do to be so extraordinary? As part of the Taikang 18 sons, they too once made their names known in Taikang State. Who among them was inferior to Jiang Fan? Ha! What a joke! Do you not even know my adoptive father? The crowd parted. The West Sea Crown Prince, with a bruised nose and swollen face, walked over with his arms crossed. He looked quite battered, yet his posture was still quite proud. The collision of these 2 extremes made him seem somewhat comical. He strode over to Jiang Fan's side, raising his head and puffing out his chest, exclaiming, Standing before you now is the #1 person to explore the heavenly realm in the 9 states. He is the great Yin sect master personally granted by the heavenly Eye Sage. He is a close friend of the 6 great demon lords of the great wilderness state. He is the human clan envoy most respected by the Usura clan. He is my adoptive father, Jiang Fan. The entire venue fell silent. Both the informed and the unaware were rendered speechless. The same achievements, when spoken by the West Sea Crown Prince, seemed to elevate them to countless levels higher. Terms like #1 in the 9 states, personally granted by the Sage, 6 great demon lords, and human clan envoy. They sounded extraordinary, stirring a sense of grand world competition and human clan mission. The Taikang 18 sons were all stunned, their mouths agape. Each of these titles sounded incredibly explosive. In comparison, their accomplishments seemed like mere games played by children. During the few years they withdrew from the stage of Taekang state, such a stunning talent had appeared. Some were shocked, some were skeptical, and some were envious. Chen Jing spoke indifferently. Those achievements were merely gained through scheming and deception. If I were in your position, I would have done the same. The West Sea Crown Prince eyed him disdainfully. Then why don't you try showing off? No one is stopping you from proving yourself. Chen Jing raised his hand, clenching his fingers, causing the air to explode with a cracking sound. I have no regard for such tricks of the bad guys. I, Chen Jing, only believe in strength. This world may have once surged with storms and eras may have changed. But one thing remains eternally unchanged. That is, strength is the respected. He clenched his fist, pointing it at Jiang Fan from afar. In any era there is only one true king. Since I have returned, you should take your leave. With those words, he opened his palm, and a piece of golden talisman danced in his hand, forming into a line of large characters. Connect heaven and summon the saint, enter the immortal palace. The 8 large characters flew from his palm, growing larger against the wind. Soon, each character was like a mountain. The 8 characters flew together, descending with a majestic heavenly might. The pavilion master's face changed slightly. Immortal 6 seals! When Chen Jing visited the continent back then, he used it against Jiang Fan, who had just broken through to the Nascent Soul realm. Its power could not be underestimated, but it was shattered by Jiang Fan's full-force attack as a second-stage Nascent Soul. Time has passed. Now that Chen Jing has used it again, its power is incomparable to before. Under the cover of the 8 characters, the people of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion felt their bodies becoming light, and their souls uncontrollably drifting away from their bodies towards the 8-character seal. It felt as if those words, connect heaven and summon the saint, enter the immortal palace, were truly going to lead them into the immortal palace. This seal was, in fact, a soul-level attack. There is righteous energy between heaven and earth, abundantly forming all things. In a critical moment, Jiang Fan's voice, infused with soul power, steadied everyone's souls which were leaving their bodies. The pavilion master was secretly shocked, quickly saying, "Everyone fall back." The confrontation between Chen Jing and Jiang Fan was beyond what they could meddle in. Chen Jing frowned slightly. "You're actually unharmed?" This seal was intolerable even for an atorifious nascent soul, yet Jiang Fan remained unscathed. Jiang Fan squinted his eyes. What a domineering earth-level high techniques! Its power was not much inferior to that of the Brahma Saint True Spirit technique. He decisively moved, his hands forming seals together. Divine Lord Vast Desolation! Behind him, a 10-jang-tall 8-armed divine statue clad in golden armor appeared. All 8 arms struck together, and the earth-shattering golden brilliance soared upwards, shattering the pressing 8 characters. Connect heaven and summon the saint, enter the immortal palace. The talisman exploded into mottled light, scattering away. The Taekang 18 sons looked on in shock. He can actually face off against one of Chen Jing's immortal 6 seals head-on. The immortal 6 seals is an outer heaven technique, its power infinitely close to heaven level. The elder truly wasn't wrong. Jiang Fan's strength can't be underestimated. However, this is just the first seal. The following seals are progressively more powerful. Jiang Fan may not be able to endure. Chen Jing was slightly surprised as well. Such strong body technique, no wonder you dare challenge me. Very well, if you were too weak, even winning wouldn't be worthy of the title Return of the King. Divine rainbow descends from the sky, returns to the human world. In his palms, 8 more talismans erupted, striking into the canopy overhead. Suddenly, the sky transformed into a spectrum of colors, and vivid rainbows, like beams of light, descended from the sky, shooting straight towards Jiang Fan. Where the rainbow beams passed, space shimmered, creating long sparks. If hundreds of these long rainbows simultaneously struck a person, the body of a nascent soul realm cultivator would explode on the spot. Jiang Fan remained calm. All things begin. The world only I. Before him appeared a human emperor statue wearing a 9-tassel crown and holding the emperor's sword. Above his head appeared an ancient, mighty yellow big bell. As the bell rang, the world froze. The rainbows shooting from the sky froze like a painting. The human emperor statue raised the emperor's sword, sweeping across the heavens. The 1,000-foot sword radiance severed the skies, and the rainbows were all cut down, scattering as colorful light spots onto the world. Chen Jing's face changed, once again forming a seal technique. Stars and moon gather, manners rise and fall. The 8-character seal technique once again entered the sky. High in the heavens, golden clouds gathered, and the phantoms of immortal palaces hidden within the clouds cascaded like meteors, madly falling towards the ground-bound Jiang Fan. Each immortal palace carried majestic might. Even before falling, they caused the sky to roar and the earth to tremble. Several elders watching this scene involuntarily swallowed hard. This attack possesses the might of a 9-aperture nascent soul. Chen Jing's strength is undiminished from the past. This is the return of the king. Jiang Fan gazed upward at the seemingly world-ending scene, battle lust rising in his eyes. Come at me. He was just about to test the invincible elegance of the Brahma Saint True Spirit technique at the nascent soul realm. Lord vast and boundless, heaven and earth only me, all things begin. The 3 divine images emerged simultaneously as Jiang Fan defied the sky and soared into the air. The sound of a bell reverberated, fist-light like waves, and sword brilliance crisscrossed. Phantasmal shadows of immortal palaces were shattered, piece by piece, golden clouds dispersed. Countless arcs of light, brilliant and vibrant, splashed around, reflecting the heavenly mechanism pavilion's sky curtain in a riot of colors. Everyone looked up, watching this astounding scene in awe. From afar, it seemed as if a mere mortal was battling the heavens, breaking countless Qiang buildings of heavenly palaces. Moments later, golden clouds in the sky completely dispersed. 3 of the immortal 6 seals of Chen Jing were consecutively broken. Chen Jing's face showed surprise. This can't be. He couldn't believe that his immortal 6 seals were powerless against Jiang Fan. With unwillingness, he once again performed a seal technique, casting the 4th seal. Jiang Fan looked down at him and without a word dove down. At that moment, Chen Jing's sigil was formed, striking towards the sky curtain. Destroy! Jiang Fan uttered lightly, Divine Image, Emperor Image, Earth Image. The 3 images converged into a beam of golden light, enveloping Jiang Fan as he descended from the sky. The incoming sigil shattered on the spot. Jiang Fan's momentum didn't diminish, carrying the golden light directly towards Chen Jing. Chen Jing was both shocked and furious. How dare you? No one can stand in front of my immortal 6 seals. He roared, launching the final 2 seals in succession. Jiang Fan transformed into golden light, stepping upon the layers of sigils in the blink of an eye. A ripping sound like fabric tearing was heard. The sigils were smashed instantly. The golden light, unimpeded, struck Chen Jing. Boom. The immense impact gouged out a 100-feet-wide depression in the earth. Chen Jing spat blood, collapsing into the depression. Jiang Fan stepped on his chest, saying calmly, Is this what you call a king? Why not go back to Washing Moon Lake and continue your cultivation? The entire scene was deathly silent, especially the Taikang 18 sons, who couldn't accept the reality before their eyes. As their paragon, once the king of the Taikang 18 sons, he was actually easily crushed by a rising star. Could it be that the era belonging to the Taikang 18 sons has truly passed? Just as Jiang Fan withdrew his foot and turned to leave. Lying on the ground, Chen Jing's eyes were full of humiliation. He had actually lost to Jiang Fan with the strength he was so proud of. How could he accept it? How could he? The immense humiliation intensified within him, causing an intense rebellious intent to surge in his eyes. He couldn't admit defeat. Couldn't. With a hum, an invisible ripple radiated from his body. It was his madness, rebellion. Jiang Fan, completely off guard, was instantly invaded by the madness. From a victor, full of spirit and confidence, he suddenly felt unbearable humiliation, ashamed to face anyone. This was the effect of the rebellious intent, transforming his victorious mindset into a defeated one, while he was immersed in madness. Filled with unwilling killing intent, Chen Jing's 5 fingers turned into claws, reaching for Jiang Fan's back. Brother, stop! Nangong Xiaoyan screamed in panic. On one side was her brother, as close as blood could be, and on the other was Jiang Fan, who had been very kind to her. She wished neither to die. Only, Chen Jing had already lost reason, and his madness was rebellious. The more others tried to stop him, the more he pursued it. Thus, not only did he ignore Nangong Xiaoyan, but his actions also became increasingly ruthless. The faces of the elders all changed. They all acted to stop him. But Chen Jing's attack was too sudden, no one expected it, and it was too late to stop him. Many people exclaimed in horror, as if they already saw the hopeless scene of Jiang Fan's chest being pierced through. However, just as he was about to touch Jiang Fan's back, suddenly a purple light flashed, severing Chen Jing's hand. Immediately after, Jiang Fan turned around coldly. Clutching the purple sword, he swung it at Chen Jing's neck. Stop! The rushing Taikang 18 sons shouted in unison. How could they watch Chen Jing die right before their eyes? Jiang Fan's eyes turned slightly cold. He hadn't intended to kill Chen Jing, but teaching him a lesson was unavoidable. If not for his nascent soul injury, which quickly woke him from the madness, he might have already fallen victim to it. The sword aimed at Chen Jing's neck switched to striking him with the sword body on the forehead. A resonant clang. Chen Jing's eyes rolled, and he fainted on the ground. Jiang Fan lightly kicked him towards the heavenly mechanism pavilion master and others behind him. Lock him up and notify True Word Venerable to come redeem him. Chen Jing nearly took his life. Surely this debt should be repaid by True Word Venerable. The Taikang 18 sons were discontented, especially the female prodigy who idolized True Word Venerable, her gaze sharp. Release him immediately. Jiang Fan glanced at her. Soul-shocking stab. The female prodigy didn't even scream before fainting on the spot, and Jiang Fan stepped up, kicking her to roll on the ground. Lion. Jiang Fan, how dare you be so ruthless to a flower, I'll fight you. Jiang Fan looked at the remaining Taikang 18 sons, saying, come at me together. Everyone's eyes burned with anger. Too arrogant. One person challenging all of us Taikang 18 sons. Even a 9-aperture nascent soul wouldn't dare such a feat. Let's go, fulfill his wish. Chen Jing's defeat had already demoralized them, and now Jiang Fan's provocation added fuel to the fire. They could no longer care about the reputation of many against one, and they all rushed forward. Jiang Fan took a deep breath, also wanting to know if he could easily handle a group of atorifious nascent souls without using lethal moves. Divine Lord, vast and boundless, black sky eyes, all things begin, Hell Lotus. The Taikang 18 sons weren't weak and their cultivation techniques were very advanced. Unfortunately, every move Jiang Fan used was the top-level cultivation technique of Taikang State. The outcome wasn't hard to predict. Moments later, dust rose all around, littered with the wailing Taikang 18 sons. In contrast, Jiang Fan's breathing was steady, and apart from consuming quite a bit of nascent soul power, he bore no injuries. With his own strength, he had suppressed the Taikang 18 sons. The elders of various sects watched with faces full of envy. Talents emerge in each era. A few years ago, it was the era of the Taikang 18 sons. Now, it is the era that belongs solely to Jiang Fan. The Taikang 18 sons were full of reluctance. They were atorifious nascent souls. Jiang Fan was only at 7 orifices. Yet the result was their collective defeat. We still have hope. If we reach the divinity transformation realm first, he will be trivial. Right, the gap between divinity transformation and nascent soul, one is in the heavens and one on the earth. Given our cultivation gap, we'll surely enter divinity transformation first, and then I'll look down to see him. They were encouraging each other. Suddenly, demonic energy gathered in the sky. Venerables of the demon path with black divine rings behind their heads descended with world-destroying pressure. Wu Yu Venerable and Red Dust Venerable, leading 4 demon venerables, stepped forward to salute. Jiang Dao Yu, long time no see? Jiang Fan paused, then remembered he had asked the 6 demon venerables to watch over his sect in Taikang State. He smiled, saluting back. Welcome to Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, fellow Taoists. The eyes of the Taikang 18 sons widened, filled with astonishment. What did they just hear? 6 venerables, including 2 at the Heavenly Human 2 declines, addressed Jiang Fan as a fellow Taoist, standing on equal terms. A female prodigy shrunk back, saying, I won't look down anymore. I'll leave the opportunity to you. Dust Venerable glanced around the chaotic surroundings, striking a pose, and said, Young Master Jiang, why are you bullying a bunch of juniors? What's the point in that? You might as well bully me. The Taikang 18 sons looked complicated. It turned out that, in the eyes of a demon venerable, Jiang Fan was already considered their equal. Jiang Fan and the Taikang 18 sons were not even in the same league. One was still mixing in the youth circles. The other was already mingling with the venerables. They foolishly challenged Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan was willing to pay attention to them. That was giving them face. A little sparring isn't bad either, Jiang Fan said casually. Wu Yu Venerable was observing the surroundings, feeling a bit puzzled. Is this the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion? The other demon venerables also looked curious. It shouldn't be. Jiang Fan is serving as both the Great Yin Sect Master and the Vice Pavilion Master of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Could it be that the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion is a mighty presence far beyond the Great Yin Sect? But in reality, it's just an ordinary little sect. Just at this moment, an eerie voice came through the sky. Jiang Fan? The 6 demon venerables furrowed their brows, quietly protecting Jiang Fan behind them. Judging by the voice, it seemed the person was unfriendly. They couldn't watch Jiang Fan get killed. After all, Jiang Fan held control over them. In the next moment, an elderly figure appeared in the sky. It was Venerate Zinni. His face was grim, coming to accuse Jiang Fan. Yet upon arrival, his old eyes narrowed, a flash of surprise and suspicion. "Who are you? How could there be 6 demon venerables from the great wilderness state?" Among them, there were 2 beings with the heavenly human 2 declines. Wu Yu Venerable swept his gaze, realizing they were just venerables with the heavenly person decline. His expression chilled. "Demon Abyss Wu Yu Venerable, who are you?" Venerate Zinni was secretly startled upon hearing this. Demon Abyss, the #1 sect in the great wilderness state. He quickly descended, his expression softening, and said warmly, "I am Zinni of Young Emperor Mountain. Greetings to the 6 Taoists." Theoretically, he should refer to Wu Yu and Red Dust as seniors. The identity of Young Emperor Mountain allowed him to interact with them as equals. But he should be respectful and courteous indeed. Young Emperor Mountain? Wu Yu Venerable and his fellows' expressions changed. Who wouldn't know the place called Young Emperor Mountain? Wu Yu Venerable didn't dare to act superior, saying, "So it's Taoist Zinni. Is there a misunderstanding between you and Jiang Daoyu?" Venerate Zinni looked at Jiang Fan, protected in the center by 6 demon venerables, secretly amazed. 6 demon venerables were actually treating Jiang Fan as an equal. He was full of surprise and said, "I am Jiang Fan's master." "Ah, Jiang Fan is a member of Young Emperor Mountain." Wu Yu Venerable suddenly understood. No wonder the heavenly mechanism pavilion appeared ordinary, yet surpassed the great Yin sect. So it turns out Young Emperor Mountain stands behind it. This explanation makes sense. Jiang Fan is truly hiding well. Venerate Zinni was also curious. "Why did you come to the heavenly mechanism pavilion?" Wu Yu Venerable smiled and said, "We and Jiang Daoyu have a connection, and before the calamity arrives, we came to see his sect." He immediately took out 3 array plates and said, "Jiang Daoyu, a small gesture, please accept it." Red Dust Venerable also took out the red dust illusion sound. The remaining 4 venerables successively presented great treasures. Jiang Fan was overjoyed, unable to contain his happiness. They truly were venerables. Their gifts were grand. Each one was an unparalleled treasure capable of protecting the heavenly mechanism pavilion during the calamity. "Thank you, 6 Taoists," Jiang Fan said. Wu Yu Venerable breathed a sigh of relief internally. The voluntary task of looking after heavenly mechanism pavilion was completed. He cupped his hands and said, "I hope the heavenly mechanism pavilion can weather this calamity. We must return and make final preparations for the battle." "Farewell," Jiang Fan suddenly spoke. "Hold a moment, Venerate Wu Yu. I remember you once said that your sect's soul-refining venerable betrayed you and incited a female venerable. Is this true?" It's rare to have adversaries for the demoness. How could Jiang Fan pass up the chance? Wu Yu Venerable's eyes gleamed. "Do you have news of those 2? Jiang Fan said. "Soul-refining venerable is dead, but that female venerable still lives. And she's right here in our Taikang state." "What?" Wu Yu Venerable's eyes flashed with killing intent. "This vile woman stole our demon Abyss's recreated demon eye. I was worried about not finding her." Immediately, he said to Red Dust Venerable, "You should return first. I have some matters to attend to in Taikang state." Red Dust Venerable and the others didn't dare to linger in Taikang state. They all took their leave. Wu Yu Venerable asked, "Jiang Daoyu, do you have any information on her?" Jiang Fan's eyes flashed as he said, "She once left a trace of demonic chi on me. A compassionate elder named Evil Crow Venerable couldn't bear to see me harmed and transferred the demonic chi onto himself." Wu Yu Venerable understood, finding that Evil Crow Venerable might lead to clues. After asking about Evil Crow Venerable's location, Wu Yu Venerable took his leave. Jiang Fan silently hoped they would find the demoness. Clatter at this moment, his shoulder felt a weight. It was Venerate Zinni's aged hand resting on Jiang Fan's shoulder. Jiang Fan's heart skipped a beat. Venerate Zinni arrived with heavy killing intent. The reason was clear to Jiang Fan. Wang Chengxiao. He hadn't mobilized the Great Yin sect nor the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion to search for Wang Chengxiao. So Venerate Zinni grew angry. He discreetly pressed the jade box hidden in his sleeve, ready to release the mysterious demon liquid within at any moment. "Good disciple, you truly surprised your master," Venerate Zinni said. Unexpectedly, Venerate Zinni didn't grow angry, pondering in amazement. "You can actually mingle with a group of demon path venerables. Truly unbelievable." Not even the true disciples of young Emperor Mountain, with heavenly human 2 declines, or even 3 declines, are as capable as you. He gazed at Jiang Fan, his eyes flickering with pride. Young Emperor Mountain was full of strong figures, many of whom were out of reach for Venerate Zinni. Yet none of their disciples could compare to Jiang Fan. Venturing into the heavenly realm, facing the 5-star giant king, making connections with demon path venerables. Who's a disciple that could compare? And Jiang Fan was his registered disciple. If he brought him back to young Emperor Mountain, surely the venerables would envy him. Jiang Fan humbly said, "All thanks to Master's guidance." Seeing him so modest, Venerate Zinni grew even fonder, his eyes shifted and solemnly said, "Making you a registered disciple is truly unfair to you. From today on, you will be my true disciple, Jiang Fan. If I survive to return to young Emperor Mountain, I will dedicate myself to nurturing you, assisting you in achieving divinity transformation." Ah, true disciple, Jiang Fan felt no joy. Instead, his mood grew heavier. Venerate Zinni was a violent person. The deeper the deception faced, the more ferocious when the truth was revealed. By then, killing Jiang Fan wouldn't suffice, and to relieve his anger, he might implicate the innocent heavenly mechanism pavilion, slaughtering everyone. "Why, are you still mindful of having a master?" Venerate Zinni's voice sank slightly. "I cherish you and accepted you as a true disciple. Think carefully." Jiang Fan felt a tremor within, had no choice but to bow. "Disciple Jiang Fan, greetings to master." Venerate Zinni finally showed a smile, saying, "Good disciple, you are my first true disciple. I will not treat you poorly. Come, let's find Wang Chengxiao and complete the task for the young emperor. Speaking of which, I've always wanted to ask you something." Venerate Zinni looked at Jiang Fan, his aged eyebrows raised slightly. "I've heard people say your actions in the heavenly realm have always involved impersonating Wang Chengxiao. Is there any truth to this?" Jiang Fan's heart skipped a beat. If not for his extraordinary willpower, suppressing his heartbeat by force, he might have exposed himself in front of Venerate Zinni. "Why do you have some unspeakable secret?" Venerate Zinni eyed the hesitant Jiang Fan, a hint of suspicion flashing through his aged eyes. Unable to find Wang Chengxiao for so long, he was extremely anxious. He was very sensitive to everyone associated with Wang Chengxiao. Jiang Fan's impersonation of Wang Chengxiao in the heavenly realm had once aroused his suspicions. Jiang Fan forced himself to remain calm, his mind racing. "Reporting to Master, I am worried that Wang Chengxiao might have infiltrated and hidden in the heavenly realm. Therefore, I used his name to oppose the ancient giants in the heavenly realm, making it hard for him to find refuge there." Venerate Zinni gave Jiang Fan a meaningful look. The reason seemed a bit far-fetched. If Jiang Fan were someone else, he would have been instantly killed. However, considering he once wrongly accused Jiang Fan, and with Jiang Fan being his direct disciple, he withheld his murderous intent. "Thoughtful indeed," Venerate Zinni lightly nodded his chin. "Now come with me to find Wang Chengxiao. I've been waiting for you to mobilize the great Yin sect." Jiang Fan bowed. "Yes, master. However, please grant me half a day to handle some sect matters." Venerate Zinni frowned slightly, suppressing his displeasure. "Go ahead." In his view, how could a trivial heavenly mechanism pavilion be more important than finding Wang Chengxiao? With a leap, he soared into the clouds to wait. Jiang Fan felt a chill in his heart. He had a premonition that his game of cat and mouse with Venerate Zinni was soon coming to an end. Facing each other on the battlefield was inevitable. As for who would live or die, it was hard to predict. He had 10 wish papers, mysterious demon liquid, the divinity transformation Yin corpse, and the newly cultivated day and sword array. But he faced a Venerate from the young Emperor Mountain, who dared say he didn't have any trump cards. Suppressing the unease in his heart, Jiang Fan summoned everyone to the main hall. He entrusted the treasures gifted by Wu Yu and the 4 demon venerables to the heavenly mechanism pavilion master. "Master Pavilion, please make the arrangements." He only kept the red dust illusion sound given by the red dust venerable. This item could cause hallucinations for a Venerate and might be useful in a battle with Venerate Zinni. "Isn't Senior Ice and Fire back yet?" Jiang Fan looked around, surprised. The heavenly mechanism pavilion master shook his head. "He hasn't returned since chasing the soul-refining venerable." Jiang Fan showed confusion. That day, both he and Venerable Lianjing, along with the Ice and Fire Demon Lord, fell into Hunyuan state. As a nascent soul realm cultivator, he was unharmed, so it was unlikely something happened to the Ice and Fire Demon Lord, right? Could it be the Ice and Fire Demon Lord was delayed by something? Shaking his head, Jiang Fan decided not to dwell on it. How could a venerate like the Ice and Fire Demon Lord require the worry of a mere nascent soul realm cultivator like him? He surveyed everyone's cultivation. He was delighted to see everyone's cultivation level had advanced in just half a month. For example, Fairy Yunshang had broken through to the five-orifice nascent soul peak. It showed just how abundant the resources of the heavenly mountain battlefield were. Since Yunshang was working so hard, he, as her husband, should diligently help her. Help her break through the barrier of the sixth stage nascent soul. His expression turned stern. Yunshang, do you know about Yellow Springs and the Star Palace Masters affair? Fairy Yunshang was confused by Jiang Fan's sudden seriousness, replying cautiously, I just found out now. Jiang Fan snorted lightly. Such a serious matter and you just found out now. You're letting me down with my trust in you. Come to my secret chamber. I need to criticize you properly. Hearing the first two sentences, Fairy Yunshang felt uneasy. It was Jiang Fan's first time losing his temper at her. Upon hearing the last sentence, she immediately understood, her cheeks turning rosy. Biting her lips lightly, she followed Jiang Fan. Everyone in the main hall took a while to react. "Pah," Liu Qingxian blushingly scoffed. "If you want to be intimate, just say it." "Why all the drama?" Half a day later. Fairy Yunshang rubbed Jiang Fan's dark circles. "Jiang Lang, didn't you say you were going to lecture me? Why aren't you acting now?" Jiang Fan got up wearily. "Your heavenly fox bloodline is too domineering. I need to quit you." Fairy Yunshang covered her mouth, giggling. "Jiang Lang could also absorb the cultivation of other women, you know." Jiang Fan was puzzled. "What do you mean?" Fairy Yunshang's fingers gently traced Jiang Fan's abdomen. 9 faint white shadows emerged from within Jiang Fan, resembling 9 fox tails. "What's this?" Jiang Fan asked in surprise. Fairy Yunshang replied, "A branch of the heavenly fox bloodline. Last time I enhanced my bloodline, I awakened a new ability. I can transplant part of the heavenly fox bloodline to Jiang Lang." "What?" Jiang Fan stood up abruptly. "I also possess the heavenly fox bloodline." Fairy Yunshang wrapped her arms around Jiang Fan's waist, looking up at him with a smile, and said, "Isn't it good? If you meet a woman with high cultivation and practice dual cultivation, you can also gain her cultivation. Of course, you only possess a strand of the bloodline. I am only 1 or 2 levels higher than you. Absorbing you would advance my realm by 1. And you need to be at least a major realm apart to improve by 1 level. For instance, if you absorbed the 4-crowned Usura King's confidant in the heavenly realm, you could immediately break through to the atorifice nascent soul. Or if it were true word venerable, dual cultivation 10 times could achieve the same effect." Jiang Fan was shocked, speechless. "Does the heavenly fox bloodline's ability have any use?" Fairy Yunshang did not hide. "Of course it does. If I practice dual cultivation with 10 people, those 10 can absorb other women's cultivation. When they grow stronger. By dual cultivating with me, I benefit as well." Hearing this, Jiang Fan patted her on the buttocks once. "How dare you?" Fairy Yunshang's body trembled slightly, but she nestled into his arms more deeply, affectionately saying, "My body and heart in this life belong solely to Jiang Lang. I only draw from you, Jiang Lang." Jiang Fan felt his heart warm, turned her over, and pinned her underneath. "Then let me let you absorb one more time." An hour later, he stumbled out of the secret chamber, flying up to the clouds. Venerate Zinni squinted, looking towards the secret chamber. "So that is the demon with the heavenly fox bloodline. Her heavenly fox bloodline seems much denser than when I saw it on the heavenly ascending ancient road. Looks like the bloodline has awakened consciousness. The only one in the 9 states, a rare specimen." Jiang Fan's gaze turned cold. This old thing, still thinking about Fairy Yunshang's heavenly fox bloodline, plotting to present her to the young emperor. Noticing Jiang Fan's gaze, Venerate Zinni chuckled. "Rest assured, though I am ruthless, that is towards outsiders. For my disciples, I would never wrong them. Since this demon fox is your woman, I won't pursue her. Come, let's head to the great Yin sect first. Then to the market near White Horse Temple." Jiang Fan exhaled with relief, almost ready to tear into this old thing and settle the matter then and there. "Master, why are we going to the Bema Temple market?" Jiang Fan was puzzled. Venerate Zinni's eyes narrowed. "That day, Wang Xianxia was hooked away by a fishing line. I suspect he had an accomplice there at the time. By finding him, I might coerce out the whereabouts of Wang Xianxia." Guidance Jiang Fan's heart skipped a beat. Was there any trace left at the scene back then? With a hint of unease, he silently followed Venerate Zinni away. They first arrived at the great Yin sect. "Greetings, Jiang Sect Master." Upon hearing of Jiang Fan's arrival, Feng Yuan's sect pushed past everyone and rushed forward to greet him. Jiang Fan surveyed the recently maintained mountain protection array and various equipment for resisting ancient giants. He couldn't help but feel secretly ashamed. Although he was the great Yin sect master, he had always managed things hands-off. Unexpectedly, the great Yin sect was well governed on its own. It seems that without me, the great Yin sect can still run smoothly. Jiang Fan felt embarrassed to give orders. Feng Yuan's sect bowed and quickly said, "Jiang sect master, please don't say that. Without your wise guidance, how could we turn over a new leaf and focus on resisting ancient giants? Your farsightedness and great strategies are what keep the great Yin sect orderly." Not only did Jiang Fan look at him with a strange face, even the people of the great Yin sect were wide-eyed in surprise. "Is this our junior brother Feng? If I remember correctly, junior brother Feng used to scold those who recognized Jiang Fan as the sect master. How did he become such a sycophant? Is it hard to understand? If you had friends among the 6 demon venerable, junior brother Feng would treat you like his father." Jiang Fan was momentarily stunned, then said, "No need for such courtesy. If your great Yin sect can't hold off the ancient giants, retreat to our heavenly mechanism pavilion." After all, Heavenly Eye Sage had entrusted the great Yin sect to him. If the great Yin sect truly faced difficulties, he couldn't stand by and do nothing. Feng Yuan's sect was overjoyed. With such a promise, the great Yin sect had an additional escape route. The heavenly mechanism pavilion now has an array capable of defending against a venerable's strike, along with valuable treasures gifted by several venerables. It was definitely safer than the great Yin sect. "Thank you, Jiang sect master." Jiang Fan gently nodded and said, "I'm issuing an order now. Apart from the necessary disciples for warfare preparation, everyone else should disperse to find Wang Qingxiao." Wang Qingxiao. Feng Yuan's sect was puzzled. Venerate Zinni had visited the great Yin sect several times looking for him. Was he that important? But for such a simple order, he was naturally willing to comply. "Yes, sect master." Jiang Fan's gaze flickered. Then he said, "Remember to visit the 3 divine sects and 7 great sects and all major and minor sects. And solemnly inform them that this is someone Venerate Zinni is seeking. Those who dare harbor him will bear the consequences. Also, if found, immediately send him to Bema Temple Market." In his heart, Jiang Fan murmured, "Green Pearl's wife, I've even told you where Venerate Zinni is. You better hurry up and save your husband." After giving instructions, Jiang Fan flew into the clouds. Venerate Zinni was very pleased with Jiang Fan's performance. "I just like disciples who work hard. Take this." He took out a spirit pill surrounded by thunderbolts, exuding strong spiritual pressure. Jiang Fan's pupils contracted as he said, "A 6th grade spirit pill." Such a level of spirit pill he was currently not confident in refining. Logically, his soul needed to reach the venerable level to refine it. Venerate Zinni showed an expression of appreciation. "Good eye. This is a 6th grade spirit pill from Young Emperor Mountain, the sky-breaking pearl, effective for those at the late-stage nascent soul to break through. This pearl was initially meant for one of my atorific nascent soul disciples to use to break through to the 9-aperture nascent soul. Since you are my true disciple, I'll prioritize giving it to you." Jiang Fan took it and said, "Thank you, master." Venerate Zinni truly was as he said. Though ruthless, even cruel beyond measure, he was not unkind to his own people. Venerate Zinni swept up the clouds and headed to White Horse Temple, saying, "Have you found your own path?" Jiang Fan shook his head, "Not yet." Venerate Zinni stroked his beard and said, "Have you seen a meteor?" He was actually trying to enlighten Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan hesitated for a moment, then sat cross-legged and said, "I have." Venerate Zinni asked, "Is it beautiful?" Jiang Fan nodded, "Brilliant for an instant, dazzling with brilliance." Venerate Zinni gently nodded. The path of God transformation is a meteor's trajectory elevated to the extreme. Burning oneself out, exhausting one's life, turning into a brilliant light streak across the vast earth. Without madness, there is no demon. Jiang Fan felt profoundly shaken. It was the first time someone had explained the path of God transformation to him in such a manner. This also coincided with his understanding of madness. The so-called madness is the result of pursuing something to its ultimate limit. Like Shu Bu Su's stealing and Song Lingyu's depression. He pondered and said, "Then, how can I find my own path?" The heart crystal had offered him many paths, but deep down, he wasn't passionately pursuing any of them. Without passion, how could he go mad or become crazed for it? He believed that most 9-aperture nascent souls got stuck in madness, unable to awaken, because they hastily chose a path. If the madness isn't deep enough, how can it rise to the extreme? Venerate Zinni said, "Look back on your journey, your path is within it." Look back on his journey. Jiang Fan closed his eyes, plunging into deep reflection. His journey had been too long, too arduous. Unwilling to be trapped in Lonely Boat City, he entered the Green Cloud sect. Soon after, the demon race invaded the Nine sect. After defeating the demon race, he encountered his life's great enemy, the demon emperor. After slaying the demon emperor, he faced the cataclysm of ancient giants, up until today. The countless hardships and life-and-death crises he faced were innumerable. For a moment, Jiang Fan couldn't figure out what had driven him along his path. Venerate Zinni glanced back at the deeply contemplative Jiang Fan. He said, "The vast world is bustling, the allure of the mortal world distracts the heart. Think more about your original intention, perhaps you can find the answer." He said no more. As a master, this was all he could do. Ultimately, whether Jiang Fan could comprehend his own path depended on him. Meanwhile, at the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, True Word Venerable, having learned that Chen Jing had come to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, immediately rushed over. "Venerable, Chen Jing is here." The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master had Chen Jing brought out. True Word Venerable looked at Chen Jing's severed wrist and the wounds all over, a trace of pain crossing her eyes. She didn't blame Jiang Fan. She had heard about the battle between Chen Jing and Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan had shown mercy at every step, while Chen Jing used lethal attacks everywhere, almost killing Jiang Fan with madness in the end. Jiang Fan said I should redeem him? True Word Venerable's eyes held an indescribable emotion. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master said, "Yes." True Word Venerable woodenly nodded, gripping Chen Jing and saying, "Fine, for me, for Chen Jing. Between Jiang Fan and me, there needs to be a resolution. I'll see him one more time, settle past grievances, and henceforth we'll be strangers." With a leap, she carried Chen Jing and headed to White Horse Temple. Not long after, the hurried Venerate Zinni and Jiang Fan arrived near the market around White Horse Temple and went straight to the alley where Wang Xianxia was rescued. Jiang Fan's heart hung in suspense and he said, "Master, after so much time has passed, can we still find any clues?" Venerate Zinni replied, "We always can. However, the cost required is too great and I was reluctant to use it before. Now some sacrifices must be made." He took out a piece of paper from his sleeve that Jiang Fan was all too familiar with. The wish paper from Hunyuan State. Zinni held up a red wish paper between two fingers and asked. Jiang Fan replied without hesitation, "Wish paper." Venerate Zinni looked on with appreciation. "Not bad insight." Jiang Fan cautiously tested the waters. "Disciple just returned from Hunyuan State and has seen it before." "Master, are you planning to use it to wish for Wang Xiangxiao's location?" If the goal was just to find Wang Xiangxiao, there was nothing to worry about. In fact, it would be a great thing, because it could lead Venerate Zinni to the heavenly realm. Once Venerate Zinni went there, Jiang Fan would move the connecting sky-black pillar, keeping him there permanently. The fear was Venerate Zinni would wish for something other than finding Wang Xiangxiao. And indeed, what you fear most often comes to pass. Venerate Zinni shook his head and hoarsely said, "I've heard that Evil Crow Venerable from the Great Yin sect has a secret technique called star shifting. It allows one to transfer their power to another's body. Is this true?" Jiang Fan's pupils shrank drastically. Venerate Zinni even knew about star shifting. This was Jiang Fan's core secret to framing Wang Xiangxiao. As expected earlier, the longer Venerate Zinni stayed in Taikang State, the more he peeled back the fog to find the hidden Jiang Fan. Now there was just one thin veil left before discovering Jiang Fan. He suppressed his heartbeat and calmly said, "Disciple does not know." Venerate Zinni had no doubts. Not knowing is normal. It's Evil Crow Venerable's forbidden secret technique, not available to non-Great Yin sect disciples, and that Wang Xiangxiao, being a disciple of the Great Yin sect, might have mastered this technique. So the origin of his void flow thunder power deserves a question mark. Perhaps he cultivated it himself, or maybe someone transferred it to him. Jiang Fan's heart was in his throat. Venerate Zinni was infinitely close to the truth. He quickly swiveled his eyes to guide. Master only needs to use the wish paper to find Wang Xiangxiao's position and interrogate him to reveal everything. He hoped Venerate Zinni would quickly head to the heavenly realm. Then everything could conclude. Yet Venerate Zinni turned with a surprised look. "You seem clever usually. How can you be confused at crucial moments? Haven't you listened to my words clearly? A practitioner of void flow thunder power may not necessarily be Wang Xiangxiao." Wishing to find him is like cutting the boat for the sword. He raised the wish paper, his gaze slightly narrowed. Master only needs to wish to find the void flow thunder power, whether it's Wang Xianxia or an accomplice. Whoever possesses void flow thunder power is the person I'm searching for. With those words, he raised the wish paper, ready to activate it. Jiang Fan's heart sank to rock bottom. The scene he feared most unfolded. Venerate Zinni saw through the fog and pinpointed the core of void flow thunder power. There was no retreat anymore. Prepare for battle. At that moment, Venerate Zinni suddenly paused. His aged eyes looked far away. Jiang Fan followed his gaze and was slightly stunned. A beautiful woman with an enchanting face wore a yellow, long skirt and carried a man with a broken wrist, rushing over. Her graceful figure was outlined by the windswept dress against her body, highlighting her exquisite curves. If it wasn't True Word Venerable, then who? Venerate Zinni's brows raised slightly. What are you doing here? True Word Venerable glanced at him. Not here for you. Her eyes glanced around, falling on Jiang Fan before landing right in front of him. Jiang Fan cautiously shifted towards Venerate Zinni and said, What are you up to now? I warn you, I'm now Venerate Zinni's true disciple. Try moving against me. He was quite vexed by True Word Venerable. This petty woman always meets him with threats and violence. Unexpectedly, True Word Venerable was very calm this time, as tranquil as when they first met, graceful and poised. Let's talk. Venerate Zinni, may I have a tease time? Venerate Zinni pondered briefly. Talking is fine, but don't harm him. I only have this one true disciple and won't allow anyone to harm him. True Word Venerable said, I won't just a talk. Jiang Fan, come over with me. Jiang Fan hesitated, his heart uneasy, but followed True Word Venerable to a nearby spot. True Word Venerable waved her wide sleeves, and a strong, isolating barrier surrounded them. Outside, no one could see or hear their conversation. Jiang Fan cast a sidelong glance at her. What do you want to talk about? True Word Venerable did not say much, but took out a heavenly thunder stone, its surface flickering with thin, blood-colored thunder arcs. The infinite blood tribulation thunder within Jiang Fan reacted, irresistibly emerging on his skin. Infinite blood tribulation thunder! Jiang Fan was taken aback. True Word Venerable actually had such a thing. This thunder was several times stronger than ordinary tribulation thunder. Jiang Fan had barely survived under it with the support of sky-reaching marrow. Wait! Suddenly, Jiang Fan realized an issue. No wonder I keep instantly moving to your side. Once in the treasure vault, once falling from the sky. Every time he just happened to instantly move to her side. It turned out True Word Venerable had infinite blood tribulation, which automatically locked spatial movement onto her. True Word Venerable remained calm as she tossed the heavenly thunder stone to Jiang Fan. You're giving it to me? Jiang Fan quickly caught it, somewhat incredulous. True Word Venerable replied, Didn't you say you needed a ransom? The infinite blood tribulation thunder within this heavenly thunderstone should suffice. Jiang Fan quickly inspected the heavenly thunderstone and smiled broadly. Within it, the infinite blood tribulation was even more than during his own tribulation. Enough for him to cultivate the final part, yin-yang heaven, of the heavenly thunder 6 parts to perfection. He happily nodded, enough, completely enough. When you're being reasonable, you do seem quite pleasant. Sun rising from the west seems unlikely, yet True Word Venerable not only refrained from stirring trouble, but generously offered him the thunder power. True Word Venerable nodded slightly. Moreover, our past grievances should be wiped clean as well. Whether you saved me, or I was offended by you, or the marriage agreement my father decided without my consent. All dissolved into thin air, what do you say? Jiang Fan was momentarily stunned. True Word Venerable seemed to want to sever all ties, no longer interacting. Thinking for a moment, Jiang Fan said, I have no objections. Saving you when you fell from the heavenly realm was because you gave me a life-saving lotus. Each drink and peck reflects cause and effect. But I did damage your reputation, spread scandals throughout Hunyuan State, making it hard for you to find someone you like. If you can let go of this grudge, I'd be glad. Why would I refuse? It was the first time True Word Venerable calmly talked with Jiang Fan. Suddenly she realized he wasn't so hateful after all. She nodded gently and pointed to the Chenjing in her hand, explaining, Our entanglement has severely impacted his cultivation mind. Thus, I wish to end all disputes with you, giving him a peaceful space to cultivate, so that he can soon reach divinity transformation. Jiang Fan glanced at Chenjing. This guy wasn't great, but he had a good master. He asked, What is True Word Venerable suggesting? True Word Venerable looked at Jiang Fan calmly. From now on, we walk as strangers. Is that okay? Jiang Fan felt a bit disconsolate. True Word Venerable was the first divinity transformation venerable he encountered, and the one who saved him from Evil Crow Venerable's grasp. He had been deeply grateful and respected her from the heart. Now True Word Venerable intended to move on like strangers for the sake of her disciple. For a moment, he couldn't bring himself to agree. Word Venerable couldn't help but recall their past. When they first met Jiang Fan, he was still a young boy bullied by Evil Crow Venerable. The next time they met, True Word Venerable was brought back to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion by him. After that, they personally witnessed his journey to becoming a legend. Venturing alone into the heart of the Heavenly Realm, slaying the Space Giant King, and contending with the 5-star Giant King. On the Heavenly Mountain battlefield, before the Giant Emperor, he fought to the death to eliminate the human clan traitors. Finally, re-entering the Heavenly Realm, he resolutely stayed behind to save Xingyuan Venerable, battling against the 5-star Giant King and Wu Gu, the unrivaled elite enemies, hoping for a sliver of opportunity. His strength might not be top tier, but the brilliance of his humanity, like a radiant sun, makes people dare not look directly. Even she felt ashamed in comparison. If her disciple were Jiang Fan instead of Chen Jing, she would certainly be happy every day. Because under the sky there is no mentor who would not feel proud. Unfortunately, Chen Jing is indeed her disciple. Moreover, for the sake of Chen Jing, she must sever ties with Jiang Fan. At this moment, she felt a bit reluctant. Jiang Fan's various offenses against her, those scenes that once made her feel ashamed and angry, upon reflection now, did not stir even a bit of anger. Instead, there was a faint sense of melancholy for the soon-to-be distance. She regretted a little. Perhaps it was not necessary to be so resolute, just seeing each other less would work. Or maybe, she began to speak, intending to change her mind. It's okay, let's become strangers in the future. But Jiang Fan agreed. It's unfortunately brought confusion to you and your disciple, Senior. Thank you, Senior, for protecting me when I was weak in front of Evil Crow Venerable. I will remember this kindness in my heart and not forget. After today, we will become strangers. True Word Venerable felt like a part was excavated from their heart. A bit of disappointment and a bit of pain, but the words had already been spoken, irreversible. However, just when True Word Venerable was sad, Jiang Fan's words took a turn, inexplicably reviving their heart. Before we become strangers, could you do me one last favor, Senior? True Word Venerable nodded repeatedly. Go ahead. Jiang Fan looked out at Venerate Zinni without hiding and said, Venerate Zinni is searching for a practitioner of Void Flow Thunder Force. Do you know this, Senior? True Word Venerable showed a strange expression. I've heard, and the person is called Wang Xiao. In pursuing him, Venerate Zinni has caused much bloodshed recently. She was somewhat confused. Didn't Jiang Fan mention that Wang Xiao was a made-up name by him? Then who is Wang Xiao that Venerate Zinni seeks, causing rivers of blood? Until Jiang Fan calmly said, That person is me. What? True Word Venerable was taken aback. Ah, you're the one Venerate Zinni has been chasing for more than half a year. But how did you become his true disciple? Jiang Fan said helplessly. Many coincidences formed this. Precisely because I am his true disciple. Upon knowing the truth, he would feel more betrayed and thus retaliate even more madly. Therefore, I would like to ask you for a favor. Senior, it took True Word Venerable a while to accept that Jiang Fan was indeed the Void Flow Thunder practitioner causing such a stir. She regained her composure, looking at Venerate Zinni with some apprehension. It's very difficult for me to kill him. Venerate Zinni, being from Young Emperor Mountain, surely has considerable strength. Jiang Fan said, I would never dare ask for such an excessive request. I only wish that when Venerate Zinni discovers I am the Void Flow Thunder practitioner and wants to kill me, could you speak on my behalf, Senior? True Word Venerable shook her head. He won't listen to persuasion. To kill you, he's turned Taikang State into rivers of blood. I've heard that there are sects that were exterminated, leaving no one alive. His determination to kill you is ironclad, and he wouldn't abandon it just because of my persuasion. Jiang Fan raised his hand slightly, interrupting her words. You misunderstand, Senior, I am not asking for leniency, but rather to let me finish a task first. Afterward, it won't be too late to kill me. True Word Venerable was moved. Do you want to meet people from the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion to arrange your last wishes? Jiang Fan shook his head. I've experienced countless life and death dangers. They are long prepared for my death. There's no need for me to arrange any last wishes. I want to... He looked towards the northwest direction of White Horse Temple. I want, before I die, to first bring down the Usura clan from above. In 4 or 5 days, it will be the grand hunt of the ancient giants from the heavenly realm. The Usura clans in those villages will face their darkest moment, which occurs only once in 100 years. I had agreed with them that those willing to come to Central Earth would move the connecting sky-black pillar, to bring them down. The nascent soul middle-late stage Usuras among them will be a great help for us in Taikang State to resist the ancient giants. Therefore, I want to complete this last task for Taikang State first. Then have a life-death confrontation with Venerate Zinni, and if I die then, at least there will be one less regret. True Word Venerable was in shock and awe. The waves in their heart were difficult to calm down for a long time. Facing death, what Jiang Fan was concerned about was the safety of Taikang State. Previously, Jiang Fan had resolutely stayed in the heavenly realm to save Xingyuan Venerable. That kind of spiritual impact was hard to fully experience from a projection, without being present in person. Now, in front of Jiang Fan, feeling his compassion for all lives up close, she was deeply moved. She somewhat understood why Venerable Lianjing would disregard such great risk, returning to the place almost leading to her fall. That was because she was influenced by Jiang Fan. How about it, Senior, could you help? Just need to persuade him a little. If he agrees, that's best. If not, you can leave. This is my last request before we become strangers, Jiang Fan asked. True Word Venerable's eyes glistened. No wonder Jiang Fan agreed to becoming strangers in the future, because there was no future. This was his request before death. All right, I agree. True Word Venerable's voice was low. Jiang Fan cupped his hands in salute. Thank you, Senior. I feel relieved. Please undo the barrier. I should give a conclusion after hiding from Venerate Zinni for so long. As the barrier was lifted, Jiang Fan returned to Venerate Zinni's side. Do you need your teacher to back you up? Venerate Zinni glanced at True Word Venerable, who stood in the distance, not leaving. Jiang Fan said, Thank you, Master, but I'm fine. Please activate the wish paper to find the void flow thunder again. Venerate Zinni nodded gently, saying, Very well. He raised the wish paper. Suddenly, noticing the space storage device on his forefinger, he paused his action. He removed the space storage device and handed it to Jiang Fan. Take it! Jiang Fan was stunned for a moment. Master, what is this for? He had already prepared to act first, to strike preemptively, but Venerate Zinni handed his space storage device to him. Venerate Zinni said, Haven't you wondered why I brought you here? Jiang Fan was slightly startled. Only then did he realize, with the wish paper and a suspect, Venerate Zinni didn't need to bring along a burden like him. Disciple doesn't understand Master's deeper meaning. Venerate Zinni said, I am running out of time. After making the wish, the chance of survival diminishes greatly. It might even result in immediate death, which is why I haven't used the wish paper so far. The cost is too great. He pushed the space storage ring into Jiang Fan's hand. If I survive after making the wish, return the storage ring. If I fall, he chuckled hoarsely, then you profit, kid. The spell is engraved on the back of the ring. Remember it and erase it. Don't let someone else take it. Jiang Fan was in utter shock. It turned out that Venerate Zinni had brought him along to deliver his last words, so that all his lifelong teachings would not be left without an heir. For a moment, Jiang Fan didn't know whether he should draw his sword against him. He clutched the storage ring, his heart filled with complexity. Master, must those who cultivate void flow thunder force meet their demise? Why do you insist on risking your life just to find him? A trace of warmth flickered in Venerate Zinni's eyes. Jiang Fan was the first disciple to care about him. He patted Jiang Fan's shoulder. I accept your good intentions. However, this is an order from the young emperor. I only have less than 5 days left. If I can't kill him, the young emperor will kill me. In this world, one is often helpless. All right, just follow my instructions for everything. Venerate Zinni raised the wish paper, his expression quickly turning cold and sinister. You little beast, you've forced this old man to expend his life force to find you. If I find you, I will annihilate your entire clan to quench the hatred in my heart. He blew a breath onto the wish paper. The paper ash fell onto the void flow thunder force. In an instant, Venerate Zinni's life force quickly drained away. Already aged, his body became rapidly withered. Wrinkles stacked visibly on his face, his eyeballs turned a dull yellow, and tufts of his hair fell away. His frame became abruptly hunched. Even as a Venerate, using the wish paper required the sacrifice of corresponding life force. Jiang Fan watched Venerate Zinni intently. If he were to fall here, then everything would be over. If he succeeded then, It would be the moment for master and disciple to break, swords drawn against each other. Under Jiang Fan's tense gaze, finally, the wish paper ignited and Venerate Zinni was still alive, though his breath was weak and little life remained. But he was still alive, the wish had succeeded. Venerate Zinni grinned as he watched the wish paper turn to ashes in his hands. These ashes would fly to the practitioner of the Void Flow Thunder Force. As the wish stated, it would fall on the person. Just by following these ashes, he would find the target and complete this task that had persisted for more than half a year. With a pop, the wish paper completely turned to ashes, swirling above in search of the location of the Void Flow Thunder Force. Suddenly, the ashes suddenly stopped. It had found the location of the Void Flow Thunder Force. Venerate Zinni sneered, "Little beast! The game is over." Jiang Fan's heart also suddenly thumped. Indeed, it was over. The battle between him and Venerate Zinni had come. However, just as the ashes were about to move, swooping towards Jiang Fan, in the not-too-distant White Horse Temple, suddenly Buddhist chants reverberated and a golden radiance spread. A slow yet magnetic, magnificent, and solemn voice gradually resonated. There is something before heaven and earth, formless, inherently silent. It can be the master of all phenomena, not withering alongside the seasons. It was clearly the Bodhisattva. His Buddhist chants sounded like a heavenly melody, calming souls and making honor and disgrace forgotten. All past deeds were like fleeting clouds. Greed, anger, and obsession flowed away like water to the east. The soul became empty, forgetful of everything. Not only was Jiang Fan transfixed, standing dumbfounded, but even Venerate Zinni was lost within it. A moment later, he abruptly broke free, exclaiming in shock, "Heavenly listener, what are you doing?" It was no wonder he was alarmed. A clash between venerates could decide victory and defeat in an instant, yet he had been lost for so long. If the Bodhisattva wished him harm, he would have been killed long ago. Amitabha, all desires lead to suffering, desirelessness is bliss. Donor Zinni, do not force anything. The Bodhisattva's voice gradually faded, until the last word was as faint as the buzz of a mosquito. Venerate Zinni frowned. Why did he suddenly intervene? Not good, the ashes. He looked up, but where were the ashes? During his moment of distraction, they had long since disappeared. Heavenly listener, Venerate Zinni was furious. He had spent more than half his life force on a wish that was just ruined by the Bodhisattva's forward Buddhist revelation. Though angry, he dared not bother the heavenly listening Bodhisattva. A single Buddhist chant from him nearly took his soul. Jiang Fan was secretly shocked. What was going on? Where did the ashes go? Weren't they supposed to fall on him, Jiang Fan? But just now, in his distraction, he had no idea what had happened. Chen Jing also shook his head, bewildered. Master, what just happened? Just as Venerate Zinni was about to find the practitioner of the Void Flow Thunder Force, suddenly the Bodhisattva appeared. The true word Venerable paid no heed to him but cast a look of relief at Jiang Fan. Since Jiang Fan was safe, there was no reason for her to stay. Jiang Fan, I'm leaving now. Jiang Fan bowed. Farewell, elder. The true word Venerable nodded and ascended into the air. Seeing this, Venerate Zinni quickly asked, True word Taoist, did you see where the ashes went just now? The true word Venerable shook her head. No, I didn't. Chen Jing, let's go. Chen Jing glared at Jiang Fan, unwillingly followed the true word Venerable. The true word Venerable soared into the sky. She occasionally turned to look at Jiang Fan on the ground, her eyes gradually filled with a tinge of loss. From today on, she and Jiang Fan would be like strangers. All the past was over. Chen Jing saw this, feeling discontent. Master, is Jiang Fan really that important to you? The true word Venerable replied without hesitation. He holds some weight. Chen Jing clenched his fist. Jiang Fan had come to Taking State not long ago, yet unknowingly had secured a place in his master's heart. He asked, then, between Jiang Fan and me, who do you prefer? The true word Venerable said, Do not compare yourself to him. Chen Jing gritted his teeth and said, I want to know. Otherwise, I can't cultivate in peace. After a moment of silence, the true word Venerable said, Of course it's him. Boom, Chen Jing felt as if he was struck by lightning. The master actually liked Jiang Fan more. Was it just because Jiang Fan had physical contact with the master? This is unfair. The true word Venerable then spoke again. But you are more important because you are my disciple. Only then did Chen Jing's jealousy subside, revealing a satisfied smile. No matter how outstanding Jiang Fan was, could he surpass the standing of this disciple in the true word Venerable's heart. His eyes darted as he pressed on, Master, I don't like Jiang Fan. Can you sever any dealings with him in the future? The true word Venerable looked at him coldly. Although she was already doing so, Chen Jing's proactive request made her feel resistant. Chen Jing snorted. Master, you promised me back then that you would help me break through to the divinity transformation realm. Now my state of mind is affected by Jiang Fan. If you don't sever ties with him, I'll find it hard to reach divinity transformation. You would suffer domain damage for breaking your vow. A threat. The true word venerable felt unspeakable aversion. After overcoming his rebellious intent, Chen Jing had completely changed. She said indifferently, "Fine, I promise." Chen Jing was secretly overjoyed. The true word venerable would never break a promise. When she said sever, she meant it. Ha ha ha, Jiang Fan, the true word venerable is mine alone. You'll never have her in this lifetime, ha ha ha. But just at this moment, Chen Jing suddenly smelled a faint stench of rot. He tracked the source, his body shivering, trembling as he said, "Master, your divine ring. It's about decay, right? I didn't expect the heavenly human decline to come so quickly." Chen Jing was anxious. "When did your domain break? Was it the question I asked earlier that made you lie?" "No, you don't need to lie to me. I'm not worthy of your lies." "Was it Venerate Zinni? Did you lie to him?" "But he just casually asked you one question." Chen Jing was extremely anxious. Once the heavenly human decline tribulation arrives, it will rapidly decay like evil crow venerable. A maximum of a year if there's no breakthrough, one will die under the heavenly human decline. The master finally agreed to sever ties with Jiang Fan, yet now he's about to fall. Why is this? The master simply answered Venerate Zinni, didn't see the direction of the ashes. What's there to lie about? Wait, Chen Jing suddenly understood. The master saw the direction of the ashes. The Bodhisattva's Buddhist sound hadn't made the master with the true word domain lose focus. She witnessed the entire direction of the ashes. But why would she conceal it? Even if the master didn't want the person cultivating void flow thunder force to die, there's no need to lie. It was just telling the direction. Venerate Zinni would still struggle to find the person. Unless that person was right within sight. The master had to lie for him. Back then, there were only 4 people present. Venerate Zinni, true word venerable, Chen Jing himself. And Jiang Fan? It was Jiang Fan. He's the one who cultivated void flow thunder force, the person Venerate Zinni had been searching for over half a year. And the master lied without hesitation for him, using her own life to exchange for Jiang Fan's chance to survive. The master always said he was more important than Jiang Fan. Would she exchange her life if he was to die? It's hard to say, but she has already done so for Jiang Fan. The master lied to me? Chen Jing shouted fiercely in his heart. In her heart, Jiang Fan is the more important one. True word venerable turned her head to him. What do you want to say? Chen Jing suppressed his anger. Pretending to be ignorant, he showed worry. Master, what should we do now? If you can't withstand the heavenly human decline tribulation, won't it be? True word venerable shook her head, calmly said, It doesn't matter anymore. You just focus on cultivating. Hopefully, before the ancient giants arrive, you can successfully step into divinity transformation. She and Chen Jing arrived at White Horse Temple, intending to use the transmission array here to return directly to Washing Moon Lake. Venerable, the Bodhisattva requests your presence. As they reached the temple entrance, Master Puguang approached with his hands clasped together. True word venerable slightly turned her gaze. Does the Bodhisattva know something? She gently nodded. Chen Jing, wait for me in the temple, don't leave. I'll be back soon. True word venerable followed Master Puguang to the White Horse Temple's backyard. Chen Jing's gaze flickered. As he watched True Word Venerable's figure disappear, he quietly left White Horse Temple. In his heart, he coldly thought, Master, don't blame me. You forced me. Mark it. Venerate Zinni was disheartened, his face full of gloom as he stared at the sky. This is cause and effect. Having killed too much, causing heaven's wrath and people's suffering, the Bodhisattva interfered at the most crucial moment, cutting off my path. Every drink and every meal, it's all destiny. Jiang Fan shook his head inwardly. The Bodhisattva might not have acted just to sabotage Venerate Zinni. Very likely, he was protecting Jiang Fan. As the heavenly listening Bodhisattva, all sounds in the world are hard to escape his ears. Jiang Fan had once plotted against Wang Qingxiao and had just conversed with True Word Venerable. Surely, the Bodhisattva heard it all, long knowing Jiang Fan was a void flow thunder force practitioner. That's why he interfered. The goal was to hope Jiang Fan survives for his salvation. However, Venerate Zinni killed so many people searching for him, he deserves to die. Jiang Fan had no sympathy in his heart. He tentatively asked, Master, what's your plan next? Venerate Zinni rasped, Wait for death. In 5 days, the young emperor will project here to kill me. By then, it will be a dead end. Jiang Fan secretly sighed in relief. This is the best outcome. With Venerate Zinni's death, he would be free. He can practice the Void Flow 5 forces unrestricted and without fear. Do you have any troubles? Venerate Zinni looked at Jiang Fan and said, I'll use my remaining time to help you once more. Jiang Fan took out Venerate Zinni's storage ring, returned it to him. Disciple doesn't have any troubles, just following the steps to connect with the Asura clan. Master, you should rather find a way to save yourself. Venerate Zinni hesitated for a moment, accepted the storage ring, and said, Escape? Who in the world can escape the young emperor's reach? When he wants to kill someone, hiding at the ends of the earth is useless. Jiang Fan's heart was chilled. Is the young emperor really that formidable? Venerate Zinni's eyes showed reverence. Heavenly Person 5 Declines Realm already has half-body merit. Considered a half-step great sage. Hiss. Jiang Fan's scalp slightly tingled. It sounded even more terrifying than Xingyuan Venerable. He tentatively asked again, Master, was it the young emperor ordered you to hunt down Void Flow Thunder Force practitioners? Why does he care so much about Void Flow Thunder Force? Jiang Fan couldn't understand. He merely practiced Void Flow Thunder Force a little. How could he threaten the young emperor? Even cultivating it to perfection wouldn't possibly harm a half-step great sage, would it? Venerate Zinni, knowing his end was near, didn't hide it and slowly said, Once you reach the Heavenly Human 5 Declines, all actions revolve around one thing. Jiang Fan knew what it was. Merit, Venerate Zinni said. That's merit, and back then, the 5 Elements Divine Monarch was also a great venerate who reached the Heavenly Human 5 Declines and fought in the ancient giant skirmishes 1,000 years ago. He possesses unfathomably vast merit. However, his merit is unique, integrated into the small world he created with Void Flow 5 forces. Once his merit is released, it would disperse to those practicing Void Flow 5 forces across the 9 states. The young emperor cultivates Void Flow Thunder Force, he could gain 2% of the merit, but if others also practice Void Flow Thunder Force, they would share some. Even if their Void Flow Thunder Force is stronger than the young emperor's, they would dominate more merit. Jiang Fan nearly spat out old blood. So the legacy of the 5 Elements Divine Monarch hides merit allocation. Even as a tiny core formation, unbeknownst to him, he got swept into a merit scramble among the Heavenly Human 5 Declines great venerates. To survive till now, it's truly remarkable. So that's why the young emperor hunts this person. Jiang Fan sighed. Venerate Zinni said hatefully, Though I didn't personally kill this little brat, the young emperor will come to end him. I'll wait underground to see if he really has 3 heads and 6 arms. Just as they conversed, a figure swiftly approached. He fell in front of Venerate Zinni, bowed slightly, and said lightly, Junior Chen Jing has something important to report to Senior. Venerable, his expression was indifferent. If there's anything, have your master tell me. If he had to entertain every junior that came by, then he, as a venerable, would be beneath his status. Maintaining his composure, Chen Jing said, Senior, it's something very important. Venerate Zinni paused for a moment and said, Go ahead. With a sidelong glance at Jiang Fan, Chen Jing said calmly, I wish to report to you alone. Venerate Zinni noticed this slight expression and hesitated for a moment. After a brief consideration, he waved his hand, enveloping himself and Chen Jing in an ink-black stream of air. Jiang Fan was deliberately excluded. What you have to report had better be important indeed. Venerate Zinni's face turned unfriendly, and he spoke coldly. Chen Jing remained relaxed and said, Senior, I wish to speak about the true identity of the Void Flow Thunder practitioner. Oh, the desperate Venerate Zinni's old eyes suddenly gleamed with bright lights. You know who it is, Chen Jing replied. Yes, I can swear by my head there's no mistake. Venerate Zinni was overjoyed, excitedly saying, Quick, tell me. Who is he? This person had caused him so much grief. Even to the point where he was about to be killed by the young emperor. His hatred for this person was such that he wished to skin and bone him alive. However, Chen Jing played coy and said, I can tell you, but I would like to request something in return. Venerate Zinni suppressed his impatience. What do you want? Chen Jing said. I want a part of your heart evil domain, Senior. Venerate Zinni was slightly surprised, examining Chen Jing, and after a moment sneered. So you're lusting after your master's beauty. You want to use my domain to disrupt her mind. Kid, you're quite the schemer. Chen Jing wasn't surprised and said, Senior's heart evil domain is indeed unparalleled. It clearly reflects the desires of the heart. But I do not believe I am overstepping. Grasp the rose while you still can, lest you reach out to find no branches left. I simply do not wish to regret my actions. The heart-evil domain of Venerate Zinni could sense the darkness in one's heart. Therefore, Chen Jing's thoughts were clear to Venerate Zinni. To speak so self-righteously about defiling your master, true word venerable truly misjudged you. Venerate Zinni chuckled, took out a jade scroll, and attached it to the divine ring behind him. A wisp of the dark domain was infused into it. A word of caution, your master is also a venerable. Her domain may counteract mine, making it ineffective. Chen Jing accepted the jade scroll with both hands and said meaningfully, Don't worry, my master won't be able to resist. Her domain has already been broken. Oh. Venerate Zinni was taken aback. Wasn't everything fine just now? Stowing away the jade scroll, Chen Jing glanced at Jiang Fan, his eyes cold. That's because my master lied to you. What? Venerate Zinni's eyes flashed brightly. He had only asked True Word Venerable one question, and that was whether she saw the direction of the ashes. True Word Venerable had casually replied with 2 words. No, she lied. She saw the direction the ashes took and lied at the cost of her domain. Who was she protecting? His mind buzzed, and he suddenly turned around, his old eyes fixed on Jiang Fan. Is it my disciple? His soul trembled, filled with disbelief and realization. If it was Jiang Fan, then many things made sense. For instance, why the Bodhisattva intervened at a crucial moment. It was because the Void Flow Thunder's practitioner was right beside him. For example, the divinations of the heavenly mechanism elder, far away yet near, and he recognized him. It was because that person was once his recognized disciple. For instance, when Wang Xianxia was hooked away by a fishhook, Jiang Fan arrived late. It was because Jiang Fan was the one who took Wang Xianxia, and he delayed the great yin sect's search for Wang Xianxia, impersonated Wang Xianxia in the heavenly realm, and so on. All past events now connected. All pointed clearly at one person. Jiang Fan, once his recognized disciple. Now a true disciple, the Void Flow Thunder practitioner he searched all over Taikang Daju for months to find. Was Jiang Fan? Ha ha, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. Venerate Zinni laughed, his body trembling continuously. This was a laughter born of fury, a laughter of extreme wrath. So, from the start, my intuition on the heavenly ascending ancient road wasn't wrong. He is the Void Flow Thunder practitioner I was searching for. No wonder he refused to become my disciple. The truth was he feared being exposed staying by my side. And yet, I trusted him. I not only took him as a recognized disciple, but now also accepted him as a true disciple. Even guided him in divinity transformation, intending to pass on all my life skills to him. Ha 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 ha. I, Zinni, thought myself exceedingly wise, breaking through the path of God transformation to become a respected venerable with my own power. Yet, in the end, I was played by a junior. Jiang Fan, you deserve to die. Deserve death beyond redemption. Seeing the rage and killing intent emanating from Venerate Zinni, Chen Jing's lips curved. He sneered inwardly, Jiang Fan, you are doomed. Don't blame me for being heartless, blame yourself for taking my master. He cupped his hands silently, then exited the barrier, flying away. Before leaving, he cast a meaningful glance at Jiang Fan. He could already imagine the miserable fate awaiting Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan noticed Chen Jing's subtle expression, and his heart skipped a beat, his mind racing. What did Chen Jing say to Venerate Zinni? If he wanted to avoid me, it must be related to me. Could it be that Chen Jing knew I was the Void Flow Thunder practitioner and wanted to tell Venerate Zinni? But how would he know? Amidst his unease, the barrier in front of him slowly dissolved. Jiang Fan immediately tensed, observing the figure of Venerate Zinni trying to discern his expression. If things seemed unfavorable, he would act first to gain the upper hand. However, to his surprise, Venerate Zinni appeared very calm, with no joy or sorrow on his face, betraying no emotion. Cautiously, Jiang Fan probed, Master, what are your plans next? Venerate Zinni calmly responded, Didn't I just say? With not much lifespan left, just waiting for death. Jiang Fan secretly wondered if maybe he was overthinking it. Could it be that Chen Jing hadn't disclosed about the Void Flow Thunder? Venerate Zinni looked at Jiang Fan and slightly smiled. Did you just say you wanted to guide the Usura clan from the heavenly realm? I will help you with that task. Jiang Fan waved his hand and said, Master, it's not necessary. This shouldn't be difficult. Venerate Zinni stepped forward, gently patted his shoulder and said with a smile, You are indeed a good disciple of mine. I will help you this last time. Venerate Zinni's tone seemed to carry another meaning. Thinking of this, he harbored a sense of caution. His eyes subtly turned and he said, All right, Master. Let's go, first to find the connecting sky-black pillar, then to meet the Usura clan. White Horse Temple. The innermost Buddha Hall. An immortal monk whose appearance alternated between male and female, youthful and old, sat cross-legged, suspended in the air. He held the jade box handed over by True Word Venerable. A clump of ashes endlessly flitted about inside, seeming to yearn to fly out. Ironically, its direction was precisely where Jiang Fan was located. As it turned out, earlier True Word Venerable seized a moment when Venerate Zinni and everyone were distracted by the Buddhist sound. He had grabbed the ashes. Otherwise, these ashes would have all fallen onto Jiang Fan, and he would have been immediately exposed. The Bodhisattva's voice was slow and magnetic. Is it worth it? You are the descendant of Xingyuan Venerable, with his protection unafraid of calamity. True Word Venerable said matter-of-factly. Xingyuan Venerable once spoke a phrase in the heavenly realm. Some die lighter than a feather, others heavier than Mount Tai. If my death can save someone more capable against the heavenly realm, is it not worthwhile? The Bodhisattva, hearing these words, clasped his hands together. True Word Donor's merit is immeasurable. True Word Venerable stood up and asked, Does the Bodhisattva have other teachings? Indeed. The Bodhisattva opened his mouth, releasing a thread of silent words. True Word Venerable's body trembled, her almond eyes widened. Stunned for a long moment, she then absent-mindedly said, I understand. Thank you, Bodhisattva, for the reminder. She left with her mind elsewhere. Only then did the Bodhisattva look at the jade box in his hand, gently brushing it. The ashes gradually calmed down. But with another thought, he stopped. With a serene smile on his face, he said, It's time to welcome back the Buddha Sun. On the other side, Jiang Fan, who had obtained the connecting sky-black pillar, carried it all the way to the northernmost part of White Horse Temple. He placed the connecting sky-black pillar on a large stone, aligning it with the golden bowl of Dharma Seal Vajra. Right above is the Wangxiang village the disciple spoke of. I once entrusted their Jiaxiang village chief to persuade the other Usura clan villages. Those willing to seek refuge in Central Earth, I will fetch them down. Now, we only await Jiaxiang village chief's descent. Venerate Zinni watched Jiang Fan with his hands behind his back and said, You really do care about Taikang State? Jiang Fan nodded. Taikang State has my heavenly mechanism pavilion and the mainland Qingyun sect from which I emerged. And also my childhood home, Lonely Boat City. If I don't protect them, who will? Venerate Zinni said nonchalantly. I envy you greatly, having so many people and places worth safeguarding. Unlike me, all I passed was nothing but pasts too shameful to revisit. Jiang Fan said, Master is too humble, having stepped into the divinity transformation realm. Surely life was full of wondrous moments worth reminiscing. Venerate Zinni chuckled hoarsely. Standing on a stone, gazing into the boundless sky, reminisced. I was born into a great family in heavenly state, my father a formidable late-stage nascent soul practitioner. I was the most outstanding junior in the family, and my father cared for me immensely, granting me the very best. Whatever caught my eye, he would provide, even if it was a woman seen along the way. She would be at my bedside that very evening. Under normal circumstances, I would inherit the family under my father's nurturing, until the day he pressed a sword to my throat. Jiang Fan paused, stunned. The sudden twist left him somewhat bewildered. Master's father loved you so dearly, why would he attempt to kill you? Venerate Zinni said indifferently, because he walked the path of the emotionless. What is emotionless? Severing those most cherished, that is true emotionlessness. From my birth, I was merely a tool for his entry into the path of God transformation. Love me deeply, killing me exhibits true emotionlessness. Jiang Fan felt solemn. To kill one's child to enter the path, is such a ruthless and heartless path truly possible? Venerate Zinni continued, Fortunately, my mother protected me, allowing my escape. But my father did not relent. Failing to kill his child, he killed his wife, his kin, annihilating the entire family. Finally, he succeeded on the emotionless path, entering the atorifice nascent soul. For a moment, Jiang Fan was at a loss for words. Venerate Zinni's past could be described as incredibly harrowing. His own father killed all close kin, leaving him without a haven despite the vast world. What happened afterwards? Jiang Fan inquired. With Venerate Zinni's ferocity, surely he must have sought revenge on his father. Venerate Zinni said, Afterwards, I bore the family's bloody hatred, desperately cultivating. Any practitioner blocking me, kill. Any stealing my resources, kill. Everyone hindering my cultivation was doomed to die. Along the way, I witnessed countless human schemes and depravity. Ultimately, amid slaughter, I walked the path of Zinni and achieved divine enlightenment. At this point, Venerate Zinni gazed at Jiang Fan. Master truly envies you, all traversed were good people. Thus, inner brightness and an upright spirit. From you, Master sees not a glimpse of darkness. Jiang Fan somewhat sympathized with Venerate Zinni. No wonder he grasped the path of Zinni. Master, everything is in the past, look ahead, said Jiang Fan. Venerate Zinni chuckled hoarsely. Past? Does it ever truly pass? He took out 2 pitch-black bottles. One was empty. In the other, white flames blazed inside, where a soul curled in agony within the bottle mournfully wailed. Jiang Fan's pupils contracted. Could this be? Venerate Zinni said indifferently. It is my father's soul. After becoming divine, my first act was revenge. By then, he had entered the 9-aperture nascent soul, ensnared in madness. Killing him was too lenient. Thus, I extracted his soul, condemning him to eternally suffer the torment of fiery flame. Only thus can my heart find peace. Only thus can I briefly forget the memory of my father pressing a sword against my throat and slaughtering my entire family. He put away the black bottle tormenting his father. Leaving only the empty bottle, he surveyed it. Once I swore never again to give anyone the chance to betray me in this life. Thus, throughout my life, I have trusted no one again. Not even disciples raised since childhood were truly trusted. Hearing this, Jiang Fan's heart beat violently, quietly stepping back. It seemed his intuition was not wrong. Venerate Zinni had already begun to suspect him. Indeed, Venerate Zinni slowly raised his gaze towards Jiang Fan, eyes growing sharper, his face steadily darkening. But what I did not anticipate was that my lone trusted disciple, to whom I bequeathed the ultimate legacy and bestowed the sole true name disciple, had secretly deceived me all along. Fan's expression remained calm. I never intended to deceive you. Pressured by circumstances, I became your disciple, received your guidance, and accepted your sky-breaking pearl, but none of these were my deliberate choices. You don't need to feel betrayed. The murderous intent in Venerate Zinni's eyes did not diminish but increased. Does it make a difference? Isn't the result still deception? Do you think that by saying this I won't kill you? Jiang Fan shook his head and said indifferently, I never hoped you would spare me. The positions between us ensure that only one of us can survive. However, I once hoped that we could avoid clashing in battle. Unfortunately, it has come to this point. Thinking of this, the figure of Chen Jing appeared in his mind. In consideration of true words and Nangong Zioan, he gave Chen Jing a chance. Yet, Chen Jing delivered a fatal blow to him without mercy. If he survived, he must annihilate Chen Jing. You know best. The aged eyes of Venerate Zinni seemed like 2 icy caverns, exuding an astonishing chill. He held an empty black bottle in his hand and shouted harshly, Do you see this empty bottle? It's reserved for you. I will also trap your soul inside and torment it for eternity. I will warn myself again and again, never to trust anyone again. Whoosh. Before his furious voice stopped echoing in the air, he disappeared from the spot. The next moment, he instantly appeared in front of Jiang Fan. His withered hand, like an iron vice, viciously grasped at Jiang Fan's neck. Jiang Fan did not sit back and await his fate. From his sleeves emerged black droplets, each the size of raindrops. Each droplet was extremely sticky, exuding demonic chi that blocked one's divine sense. It was precisely the mysterious demon liquid. Venerate Zinni's expression changed slightly, and he decisively teleported back. Mysterious demon liquid from the great wilderness state? Moreover, you can track my movements. He was a Venerate, his short-distance movements comparable to instantaneous movement. How could a mere nascent soul realm like Jiang Fan track him? He only realized when he sensed a wisp of the wind origin aura in Jiang Fan's body. He understood wind origin without reaching the divinity transformation realm. You truly surprise me, but this can't save you. With a flick of his sleeve, a terrifying pressure belonging to a Venerate surged forward like a tsunami, suffocating all around. The floating beads of mysterious demon liquid around Jiang Fan were successively blown away. The bones in his body crackled under the immense pressure, on the verge of collapse, but he endured it. Moreover, he activated the bronze grasshopper, causing it to swell 100-fold in the wind. Your physique can actually withstand the pressure of a divinity transformation. Venerate Zinni was once again shocked. A casual strike from a common Venerate would be enough to cause a 9-aperture nascent soul's body to collapse, yet Jiang Fan remained unharmed. But what of it? A divinity transformation Venerate and a nascent soul realm are 2 totally different life levels, not something you can easily contend with. He glanced at the bronze grasshopper with disdain in his eyes. Trying to escape in front of a Venerate? Daydreaming. Even as he talked, Venerate Zinni teleported again, appearing like a ghost before the bronze grasshopper. He raised his hand and grabbed the bronze grasshopper, throwing it away before it could be activated. "You can't escape," Venerate Zinni shouted. Unexpectedly, just after tossing away the bronze grasshopper, he suddenly sensed a terrifying punch wind attacking from behind. He turned his head to see. A divinity transformation yin corpse, covered in chains and with a giant physique, was emerging. It had been hidden behind the bronze grasshopper. Taking advantage of the moment when Venerate Zinni threw the grasshopper, it launched a sneak attack from behind. It turned out Jiang Fan wasn't trying to escape, but to lure the enemy deeper, hiding the divinity transformation yin corpse behind the bronze grasshopper. Venerate Zinni's heart pounded fiercely. How could he withstand an attack from a divinity transformation Venerate unprepared? With a thought, he was about to instantaneously move away. Yet, at this precise moment, a brocade bag in Jiang Fan's hand, which had long been prepared, burst open with a crack. It was the red dust illusion sound given by Red Dust Venerable, a mysterious powder that could even beguile a Venerate. Instantly, a pink mist surged out, enveloping Venerate Zinni. Venerate Zinni, a seasoned warrior who had faced countless battles, instantly realized the powder mist was nothing simple. Without hesitation, while teleporting, he struck with his palm, trying to disperse the mist. "Space shift," Jiang Fan said expressionlessly, having already planned the next step the moment the bag burst. A force of space enveloped the mist, which reappeared around Venerate Zinni. "Bad!" Venerate Zinni was wildly shocked. He never expected Jiang Fan had also kept a trump card of space secret technique. Nonetheless, he was no ordinary man. At the moment the mist enveloped him, lightning surged from his body, sealing his pores and 9 acupoints. Only a minimal amount of red dust illusion sound entered his body. Even so, he immediately began to hear enchanting, captivating female giggles in his mind. His heart's spirit momentarily fell into intoxication. As he became alarmed and startled awake, a stabbing pain burst from his neck. It was the divinity transformation yin corpse's hand, its 5 fingers like a knife, plunging into his neck, aiming to decapitate him. Venerate Zinni felt a chill run down his spine. How could he have anticipated that killing a young nascent soul realm would land him in such a grave life-and-death crisis? At the crucial moment, he tilted his neck. The hand of the divinity transformation yin corpse grazed past his neck. Slash, roar! The extremely sharp hand sliced cruelly through his neck, taking away a large chunk of his neck flesh. Upon closer inspection, a third of Venerate Zinni's neck was sliced away, exposing the bloody vertebra within. If he had reacted just a fraction of a second slower, his entire head would have flown off. Venerate Zinni, filled with both shock and rage, lashed out with a backward elbow strike without thinking. Bang! The chest of the divinity transformation yin corpse exploded instantly, and its huge body was knocked flying backward. Clutching his neck, still feeling the excruciating pain, Venerate Zinni was filled with endless fury. "Jiang Fan?" Venerate Zinni, like a wild beast provoked, glared angrily at Jiang Fan. He never expected Jiang Fan to be so troublesome. Jiang Fan's face was expressionless. A 6-jang-tall yin corpse had already appeared beside him, with its palm pressed against the yin corpse. His left hand, holding a heavenly thunder stone, contained immense blood thunder. "Weren't you always searching for the practitioner of the Void Flow Thunder Force? Then let me show you what Void Flow Thunder Force is. Star shifting." In an instant, the Void Flow Thunder Force and the Void Flow Fire Force, the 2 Void Flow powers, returned to his body. His Thunder Path divine technique was enhanced tenfold. Venerate Zinni's expression turned grim. "I was wondering how you eluded my pursuit. Turns out you practiced the star shifting of the evil crow Venerable. To deceive me for so long, you truly deserve to die." He dared not teleport again, fearing falling for another trap. Instead, he retrieved a black iron rod-shaped spiritual artifact, covered in dark red veins, at least dozens of them, all writhing like red worms. "This was refined from the veins of the greatest foe I ever killed." Venerate Zinni's face showed coldness. "It's a top-grade spiritual artifact that kills invisibly. To die at its hands is an honor to you." After speaking, he swung the staff fiercely. The writhing blood vessels on it immediately shot out, their openings filled with black teeth. Rather than blood vessels, they were more like countless blood-sucking worms. If hundreds of these blood vessels were to pierce into Jiang Fan's body, he would be drained into a fleshless corpse in a matter of moments. Feeling the danger from the blood vessels, Jiang Fan dared not hesitate. The heavenly abyss heart activated. The blood thunder within the heavenly thunder stone was instantly absorbed by the heavenly abyss heart. The perfected heavenly abyss heart has a hidden ability known to none. It can instantly release all stored thunder power into a single strike, coupled with the return of the void flow thunder force. Jiang Fan's strike would reach an unprecedented level. Undying blade! He raised his arm and swung fiercely. A terror-inspiring thunder sword, entwined with blood-red and pale thunderbolt, once again appeared in Taekang's state after many years. His current thunder power far exceeded that of the past by tenfold. With the addition of void flow thunder force, it increased tenfold once more. Thus, an immeasurable thunder sword burst across the sky. Even Venerate Zinni, who had seen much, was shaken. Slash! As Jiang Fan swung down fiercely. The monstrous thunder sword pressured the heavens and earth to tremble. The blazing thunder light overshadowed the sun and engulfed all light in the world. The thunder sword enveloped Venerate Zinni and the endless blood vessels he wielded. Rumble. What followed was a thunderous roar that swallowed the world. The earth seemed to be cleaved apart, exploding with world-shaking dust. When the thunder light faded, the dust, like dragons, swept across the 8 directions. A shocking, terrifying ravine stretched to the horizon. Jiang Fan's face turned slightly pale. This strike consumed all his thunder power. He wondered if it had succeeded in slaying Venerate Zinni or not. The dust slowly dispersed. An ancient figure stood in the air, gradually becoming clear. He exuded a terrifyingly fierce aura, looking down at the top-grade spiritual artifact in his hand. The blood vessels on it were all severed and obliterated into char-black debris by the thunder sword. His lifetime's accumulation of blood vessels was all destroyed. "You little beast! Destroying my treasured artifact, I won't let you off." A thunderous roar cleared away all the dust around, revealing his disheveled state. All his robes were burned away, his body covered in scorch marks. If not for the staff in his hand blocking most of the attack, he might have been severely injured. This move by Jiang Fan was already on par with a strike from a divinity transformation venerable. Venerate Zinni roared furiously, and the divine ring at the back of his head blazed with light. "Heart evil domain!" In an instant, an invisible force locked this part of the world. Jiang Fan felt a surge of intense killing intent rising from the depths of his soul. He originally didn't have a strong killing intent towards Venerate Zinni. It was merely a fight for survival, kill or be killed. But under the influence of the heart evil domain, this killing intent intensified unprecedentedly, making his eyes turn red, about to lose all reason. Venerate Zinni, with a sinister killing intent, said, "I know your heart is bright without darkness." Yet, when in life and death battles, it is unavoidable to give birth to killing thoughts. Since there are killing thoughts, under my domain, all enemies can be turned into beasts driven purely by their killing instincts. And your greatest reliance is precisely your calm in facing enemies, employing various methods. Now your reliance is gone. As a battle-hardened Venerate Zinni, he struck directly at the greatest weakness of Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan said in a deep voice, "I won't be influenced by you." But he roared in fury, charging towards Venerate Zinni like a beast uncaring of life and death. Venerate Zinni, with a cold smile, said, "Among the Venerates, few can withstand my domain. Much less you." Watching Jiang Fan rushing over, he coldly raised his index finger pointed from afar. "It's time to end this." Jiang Fan. Washing Moon Lake. A gentle breeze blew by, causing ripples on the lake's surface. The white tower reflected in the lake swayed gently. "Master, are you feeling any better?" At the top of the white tower, Chen Jing gazed at the figure in a yellow dress, sitting cross-legged at the tower's top, silently looking at the horizon. Silky black hair flowed down her back, tips lightly lifting. A delicate fragrance drifted in with the breeze. The graceful waistline, slender shoulders, and snow-white neck. The beautiful scene captivated Chen Jing irresistibly. Embracing the path of reverse intent, he found it increasingly difficult to suppress the desires in his heart. The more the world suppressed him, the more he wished to break free. True Word Venerable didn't turn around, merely staring into the distance and said, "Practice well, don't worry about me." Chen Jing stepped forward, inhaling the increasingly clear fragrance, the intoxication in his eyes deepening. "Master, I will find a way to restore your domain. I swear that I will." True Word Venerable still did not turn, calmly said, "What way? Tell me about it." Chen Jing froze. He had just casually spoken, not expecting True Word Venerable to take it seriously. I will find a way." True Word Venerable turned her head slightly, giving him a calm look. Do you know what I hate most in my life? Chen Jing halted his steps, not daring to approach further, bowing in sincerity. Precisely because of this, the path Master follows is the path of truth. True Word Venerable withdrew her gaze, plainly stating, good to know. Don't speak false words in front of me, I don't like it. Chen Jing's face flushed red, yet unwillingly he asked, what about Jiang Fan then? He has been deceiving people all over the heavenly realm, even deceiving in front of Venerate Zinni. Why doesn't Master despise him? True Word Venerable replied, I've said it before, don't compare yourself to him. You can't win. Chen Jing's eyes roiled with rebellious intent. Being told time and again he is inferior to Jiang Fan. How is he inferior to Jiang Fan? He has been with True Word Venerable for how many years, and how long has Jiang Fan known? His heart ached, feeling a tremendous crisis. Looking at the broken corner of True Word Venerable's divine ring, he gritted his teeth, silently taking out the jade scroll containing the heart evil domain from Venerate Zinni. Inconspicuously approaching, he said, Master, I have something to confess. True Word Venerable didn't turn, saying, speak. Chen Jing moved behind her, taking a deep breath, grabbing the jade scroll and striking towards her back, coldly shouting, what I want to say is, you are mine. Jiang Fan can't take you away. But to his surprise, as he struck, he hit only air. The True Word Venerable in front of him turned into a mist and dissipated. An illusory shadow. Chen Jing exclaimed. Behind him, the cold voice of True Word Venerable suddenly sounded like ice. The Bodhisattva told me to beware of you, and I originally didn't believe it. I never thought you would actually plot against me. A beat skipped in Chen Jing's heart as if it missed a note. Before he could react, his hand felt empty. The jade scroll was snatched away. Kneel. True Word Venerable, gripping the jade scroll, her pretty face cloaked in a thick frost. Chen Jing turned around, his fists clenched tightly, refusing to kneel, and said with a face full of unwillingness, I did nothing wrong. The Master is mine alone, no one else is allowed to take them. True Word Venerable was full of anger. With a wave of her slender hand, the powerful might of a Venerate pressed Chen Jing to the ground. Shameless to the extreme, I am your master. How can you have improper thoughts about your master? Chen Jing gritted his teeth, willing to be suppressed to the ground, but never kneeling, and said unwillingly, You're younger than I am. Back when I saved you, I was a 6th stage nascent soul, and you weren't much higher as an atorifice nascent soul. You have no qualifications to be my master. But why I acknowledged you as my master, do you not realize? I just wanted to stay by your side. I thought, when I also enter the divinity transformation realm, I would be the youngest venerable in Taikang state like you, and be the only partner you could choose. But my luck was bad, and my last attempt at divinity transformation failed, but I'm not discouraged. I will try again to achieve divinity transformation, just to finally walk with you together. But I never expected Jiang Fan to suddenly appear and have you. What I cannot accept is that you even have feelings for him. So, I must act ahead of time, I must have you. Listening to Chen Jing's unprecedented claims, True Word Venerable felt neither moved nor shocked. All she felt was disgust. She stepped back, speaking coldly. You're overthinking it. Even if you break through to the divinity transformation venerable realm, even if you become the youngest in Taikang state aside from me, I still wouldn't choose you. You are not exceptional enough to make me cross the master-disciple boundary to be with you. Moreover, my father is a great venerate of the heavenly human 5 declines. If I were to find a partner, it would be someone like my father, a peerless existence, not you. What? Chen Jing gritted his teeth, finally realizing everything he did was one-sided. No matter how hard he tried, he could never gain the recognition of True Word Venerable. Then what about Jiang Fan? His cultivation is not even as high as mine, yet you could damage your domain for him, die for him. You are lying, True Word Venerable said coldly. I have no romantic feelings for Jiang Fan, only admiration. That's all, after a pause. True Word Venerable's eyes suddenly narrowed. How do you know I damaged my domain for Jiang Fan? You know the secret I kept for him. Thinking of this, she looked at the jade scroll in her hand and sensed something. Her face changed drastically. Heart evil domain. You met with Venerate Zinni. You reported to him. Chen Jing laughed a cold laugh. That's right. If I can't have the master, Jiang Fan can't either. Now, he should have been skinned alive by Venerate Zinni, tortured to death, right? After all, he dared impersonate Venerate Zinni's true disciple. If I were Venerate Zinni, I would make sure he cannot live or die either. True Word Venerable swayed slightly. Angry, she said, You should die. Jiang Fan's abilities can make significant contributions against the ancient giants and protect many people. Killing him is tantamount to killing many innocent people. Chen Jing shouted fiercely. I don't care. Taking my woman, he deserves to die? True Word Venerable's face was full of anger. Her feelings for Chen Jing were not just of disappointment, but of deep disgust. Chen Jing, you make me sick. From now on, you are expelled from the sect. Between us, we are no longer master and disciple. Get out, I never want to see you again in this life. With a wave of her sleeve, she threw Chen Jing out of the White Tower. Chen Jing was furious, his face full of rage. Expelled from Washing Moon Lake for Jiang Fan. You are ungrateful. If I hadn't saved you back then, you would have already gone crazy and died in the East Sea. True Word Venerable said coldly. Not killing you is the greatest repayment. The debt is settled, and there are no more ties between us. Besides, what you should be worried about now is if Jiang Fan will come for you. If he lives, no place on heaven or earth will be safe for you. After saying this, she leapt towards the transmission array, heading towards the White Horse Temple. Her heart was anxious. If Jiang Fan was killed because of her disciple's betrayal, her sins would be great. Chen Jing wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. His face darkened as he followed. HMPH, I refuse to believe he can survive at the hands of Venerate Zinni, connecting sky-black pillar. Venerate Zinni coldly watched Jiang Fan charging like a beast, with a flick of his finger. A wave of murderous intent was lightly flicked out. His old eyes showed a trace of complexity. It would be great if you truly were my disciple. Terrifying power shot towards Jiang Fan in an instant. The next moment, Jiang Fan was about to burst into blood and flesh, exploding on the spot. However, at this moment, Jiang Fan unexpectedly regained clarity, forming a seal with his hands. A force of space power appeared suddenly behind Venerate Zinni. What? Venerate Zinni was shocked. Jiang Fan actually escaped his heart-evil domain. How was that possible? It wasn't until he suddenly noticed, among Jiang Fan's black hair, there was mysteriously much more white hair. Ashes of wish paper floated out from his sleeves. Only then did he remember, before Jiang Fan lost his rationality, he had said something quietly. I won't be affected by you. At that time, Jiang Fan was making a wish. He had already broken free from the domain's influence, yet continued to pretend to be irrational, to make Venerate Zinni let down his guard. Creating an opportunity for his attack right in front of him. A jolt struck his heart. Without thinking, he backhanded a punch towards the space power behind him. With a puff, the sound of a body being pierced echoed. Turning to look, it was indeed a divinity transformation yin corpse. Its abdomen was pierced, yet without any feeling of pain, it spread its arms and hugged Venerate Zinni tightly. Venerate Zinni immediately sensed something amiss. Jiang Fan intended to subdue him. There must be a major finishing move coming. Let go! Venerate Zinni shouted, trying to pry off the hands of the divinity transformation yin corpse. But the other party held him beneath tightly and could not be shaken off. Venerate Zinni decisively activated his movement technique, attempting to instantaneously move away with the divinity transformation yin corpse. No matter what killing move Jiang Fan had prepared, as long as he moved away in time, it couldn't harm him. Unexpectedly, at this moment, the droplets of mysterious demon liquid that had scattered everywhere unknowingly gathered inside the divinity transformation yin corpse's body. They rushed out swiftly, sticking Venerate Zinni tightly. Simultaneously, another portion of the mysterious demon liquid stuck to both of their souls and the ground, leaving Venerate Zinni without the strength to escape. You brat! You're courting death? Venerate Zinni grew anxious, wanting to blast Jiang Fan from a distance. Meanwhile, Jiang Fan struck. He flicked his finger, and the 3 top-grade spirit swords behind him unsheathed with a clang. Dayan Sword Array! Jiang Fan called out in a low voice, his finger pointing remotely at Venerate Zinni. The 3 top-grade spirit swords immediately transformed into a 3-color divine rainbow. This was Jiang Fan's final killing move. Technique and executed with 3 top-grade spirit swords. His heart pounded wildly. In his eyes, the 3-colored divine rainbow was not a brilliant rainbow, but a cold death. Whoosh. The 3-colored divine rainbow seemed to move with instantaneous movement, slashing in an instant. Venerate Zinni's body was firmly fixed in place, unable to dodge at all. The moment of life and death. A flash of decisiveness appeared in his eyes, his legs forcibly twisted like rubber bands. Along with the attached divinity transformation yin corpse, its legs were also twisted. Thus, the divinity transformation yin corpse was in front, using its back to block the 3-color divine rainbow. Slash! At that moment, the three-color divine rainbow reached. The unparalleled rainbow light pierced through the back of the divinity transformation yin corpse. Upon hearing the muffled sound behind, Venerate Zinni was relieved, simultaneously grateful for his quick reaction, sacrificing his legs for a sliver of survival. Otherwise, at this moment, he would have been split into three, but he underestimated the Dayan sword array. After cutting through the divinity transformation yin corpse, the three top-grade spirit swords swept in and returned to their scabbards. But they left the three-colored divine rainbow, its flickering rapid and unstable. Venerate Zinni turned his head to look, his pupils shrank to their limit. An old face was terrified to the extreme in the flashing three-color light. No! Venerate Zinni cried out, but the three-color light ultimately exploded. Countless spots of three-color light shot out like a torrential rain in all directions. Where the light passed, the divinity transformation yin corpse was pierced with a bloody hole. Innumerable spots turned it into a sieve, blood flowing endlessly. Venerate Zinni was close by. How could he avoid it? Ah! Amidst the piercing screams, Venerate Zinni was also left entirely perforated, divinity transformation blood splattering everywhere. Even his head turned into a beehive. At this point, the divinity transformation yin corpse couldn't hold on. Its sieve-like body instantly dissolved into bone, mud, and rotten flesh. Venerate Zinni staggered with not an inch of skin intact. His body was completely destroyed. Little brat! Venerate Zinni's throat was pierced, letting out a hoarse roar. Thud. He couldn't hold on either. His body fell apart on the spot, turning into flesh mud. Thus, the era of Venerate Zinni was cut down under the sword. Thud. Jiang Fan also weakly knelt on the ground, his face slightly pale. Activating the Dayan sword array, he exhausted all his nascent soul power, leaving him without a bit of strength. To kill Venerate Zinni, he used up the blood thunder, utilized the red dust illusion sound, and consumed a precious wish paper. Even destroyed the divinity transformation yin corpse. The price was quite heavy, but to eliminate the mortal enemy who pursued him across the continent, it was all worthwhile. I won. Jiang Fan tiredly looked up at the sky, revealing a slight, relieved smile. This moment, he no longer needed to worry about the void flow thunder force being discovered. Clatter. Just then, a strange sound reached his ears. Jiang Fan sharply looked down, his pupils contracted. It was Venerate Zinni's shattered bones and flesh, quickly moving towards the location of his skeleton. In the chest cavity of Venerate Zinni, there was an emerald green jade scroll. An unimaginably powerful domain emanated from the jade scroll. That domain possessed the reverse heaven ability to resurrect the dead. Venerate Zinni's flesh, centered around the jade scroll, swiftly reassembled, finally coalescing together. In the blink of an eye, the thoroughly dead Venerate Zinni, under the influence of the Jade Scroll's domain, actually restored to his original state, skin unmarred, breath strong to the peak. Even the vitality lost when using the wish paper was wholly restored. If not for the dense holes in his robe, Jiang Fan would even suspect if his Dayan sword array had ever killed him. The reborn Venerate Zinni slowly opened his eyes. In the old pupils, a cold sneer pervaded. Little brat, didn't expect I had this trick, did you? Jiang Fan's heart sank to the bottom, his face covered in despair. With no nascent soul power left, what would he use to battle the peak state of Venerate Zinni? Is the domain in the Jade Scroll from the young emperor? Jiang Fan asked feebly. Such a heaven-defying domain, aside from that heavenly person 5 declines young emperor, none else could possess it. Feeling his body's strength, Venerate Zinni sneered as he approached the powerless Jiang Fan. I've never submitted to anyone in my life, unless for a tremendous benefit. Why else would I serve under the young emperor willingly? His life-saving domain is the reason I sell my life for him. Jiang Fan let out a long sigh. I thought you came from young Emperor Mountain. Surely you must have a very powerful trump card. Just never thought it would be such a heaven-defying thing like resurrection. Even Jiang Fan felt a sense of grievance at their foul play. He exhausted everything, yet the opponent could resurrect to fight again. It truly was too unfair. Venerate Zinni chuckled. No need to feel aggrieved. With your 7-orifice nascent soul body, killing a Venerate, not saying no one will match in the future, definitely unprecedented in history. Even the young emperor back then had no record of 7-orifice killing a Venerate. You are truly remarkable. Jiang Fan bitterly smiled. Thank you for the Venerate's consolation. Venerate Zinni walked up to Jiang Fan. The peak Venerates might suppressing Jiang Fan, making him unable to move. The sound of creaking under the strain echoed from his entire frame. Forget retaliation, even secretly activating the wish paper was not possible. At this moment, he truly reached the end of the road. Venerate Zinni gazed down at him, a trace of reluctance appearing in his old eyes. Truly loath to kill you. Compared to my youth, you're outstanding enough to make me ashamed. I can imagine how brilliant your future would be. You will surely break through the divinity transformation shackles, become a venerate, and finally reach the heavenly person 5 declines realm, vying with great venerates for entering sage heavenly mechanism. In the arena of great era competition, your presence will eternally remain. The human history must record your significant presence. I truly wish to have such a disciple. Sadly, you are someone the young emperor wants dead. I cannot spare you. He raised his finger, pointing at Jiang Fan's forehead. The supreme power made Jiang Fan's soul tremble. No suspense remained. He would be annihilated in this strike. But Jiang Fan remained calm, saying, "Venerate, go ahead, you have your stand. I don't blame you." Venerate Zinni stared at Jiang Fan for a long time, remaining silent. Only after a while his voice slightly hoarse. "I'll give you a swift end, won't retaliate on your relatives or friends." Jiang Fan closed his eyes, slowly said, "Thank you." A hint of heartache flickered in Venerate Zinni's eyes. "In the next life, become my disciple. Farewell." From his dry fingers, immense powerful energy emerged, piercing through Jiang Fan's head. Demoness drip. Blood flowed from the forehead, dripping to the ground, one drop at a time. As the flow of blood increased, it gathered and surged like a stream. Venerate Zinni touched his forehead, looked at the blinding blood in his hand, and his old eyes were filled with confusion. "Why?" He staggered backward as his life force visibly drained away. Jiang Fan's forehead was unscathed. He slowly opened his eyes, stood up, and said calmly, "It's the luck transfer lock." Venerate Zinni looked down at his abdomen, raised his hand, and pulled out a blood-stained piece of ice. Inside the ice, there was a heart-shaped lock sealed within. His aged face was rapidly turning pale, and his lips trembled. "When did you put it inside me? I didn't notice at all." Jiang Fan looked at him and said, "Using space technique when I cast the red dust illusion sound on you." Venerate Zinni suddenly understood. Holding the luck transfer lock, he smiled bitterly. "So, releasing the red dust illusion sound was a blinding technique. What you really wanted to release was this luck transfer lock." Jiang Fan nodded. "To fix you, I could use the wish paper. Something like the red dust illusion sound is difficult to work on a venerate who can use instantaneous movement. I didn't expect it to work. I used it just to attract your attention. What I really wanted to spatially teleport was this luck transfer lock." Jiang Fan drew the purple sword and slowly walked toward Venerate Zinni. "Fighting a venerate, I had no confidence, so I had to keep a fallback. The luck transfer lock is the final means. If all my methods fail, the luck transfer lock is the only hope for a comeback." Realizing everything, Venerate Zinni looked at the luck transfer lock and laughed. His face was full of desolation. "I actually died by my own magical treasure. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha." Poof, divine blood gushed from his head, and he could no longer hold on, falling to the ground. The luck transfer lock in his hand also fell to the ground. The strike that was supposed to hit Jiang Fan's critical point was completely transferred onto him, causing him a fatal injury. He had already used up the young emperor's domain. This time, he was powerless to reverse the situation. Sitting on the ground, he looked up and laughed tragically. "I, Zinni, fought all my life, defeating countless enemies. How many formidable foes have I encountered? I've survived every perilous battle. In the end, I died at the hands of a 7-orifice nascent soul. But I am not wronged in death. To die at the hands of a prodigy who surpasses the young emperor, I am not wronged in death." A cold sword was placed on his neck. He looked up to see Jiang Fan's calm eyes and smiled. "I lost, and I fully accept my defeat. Kill me then. To catch you, I caused rivers of blood to flow. You've long wished to cut me into pieces. Now avenge those innocent dead." Jiang Fan's expression remained calm, neither joyful nor sorrowful. "You indeed deserve to die and indeed should pay for your actions. I indeed will kill you without mercy, but I want to say thank you first. Thank you for guiding me on the path of God transformation, and thank you for passing on your legacy at your end. Disciple Jiang Fan thanks Master for his grace." Venerate Zinni was stunned. "You still want to call me Master?" Jiang Fan said. "Once a master, always a master. In my life, I have only 2 masters. One is Liu Qingchen from the Green Cloud Sect. The other is Venerate Zinni from the Heavenly State Young Emperor Mountain. This point will not change." Venerate Zinni laughed, his shoulders easing up. "Good, good indeed. Master also thanks you." He closed his eyes with a smile, raising his neck for Jiang Fan to kill him. Jiang Fan gripped the sword hilt tightly, saying, "Disciple Jiang Fan respectfully sends master off." A flash of purple light soared Qi sword to the sky. Venerate Zinni's head would undoubtedly be severed. Clap, clap, but at this moment, the sound of applause came unexpectedly from not far away. The deep affection of the disciple slaying the master, truly spectacular. Jiang Fan's body trembled suddenly. There were actually people nearby. He immediately abandoned the idea of killing Venerate Zinni, holding the sword horizontally in front of his chest, while turning his head to look. Not far from the connecting sky-black pillar, the space rippled. A seductive woman, surrounded by demonic qi, with a black divine ring above her head, left hand on her waist, right hand playing with an invisibility spiritual artifact. Her charming peach blossom eyes playfully fixed on Jiang Fan and Venerate Zinni. Jiang Fan's heart sank. He immediately recognized who the black divine ring female venerable before him was, Demoness, the female venerable chasing Wang Xianxia from the great wilderness state all the way. She had been hiding around here. Jiang Fan cursed Wuyu Venerable inwardly. What's that guy doing? Wasn't he chasing the Demoness? How did he not find her but instead let her find Jiang Fan? But Jiang Fan pretended not to know and said solemnly, "Respected Venerable, is there anything you wish to advise?" The Demoness looked at Jiang Fan with great interest. "You're the Jiang Fan that the lustful little dragon from the West Sea talked about. He said you fought the Demon Emperor at Core Formation and the Bodhisattva at Nascent Soul. I thought it was bragging. But I didn't expect. He wasn't bragging, it was true. A 7-orifice Nascent Soul slaying a Venerate. No one would dare believe it if I told them. And indeed, as the little dragon said, you are very handsome, rarely seen in the world, truly top grade. Sister is so fond of you." Jiang Fan cursed the West Sea Crown Prince under his breath. "This dog really knows how to cause trouble for me," he cautiously said. "Predecessor overpraises, the junior actually has many flaws not deserving of your favor." The Demoness twisted her snake-like waist, walking over with a playful smile. "Do you think saying that will make sister spare you? Obediently come back with me, be my concubine. Sister will take good care of you." Jiang Fan's expression darkened slightly. He certainly wouldn't believe that being the concubine of a demon cultivator would be anything good. Extracting essence and discarding him is the final fate of a concubine. His eyes shifted. Jiang Fan said, "Predecessor, why not let me introduce someone more excellent to be your concubine?" The Demoness licked her lips. "Is he more excellent than you?" Jiang Fan nodded assuredly. "Yes, he roams in the heavenly realm alone, unchallenged and unrivaled. Many ancient giant tribes were turned upside down by him, slaying ancient giants, stealing the giant king's wife, burning down tribes. The giant emperor personally named him as the #1 genius of Central Earth. His name is Wang Xianxia. If you are interested, I can introduce you." The Demoness nodded slightly. Being named by the giant emperor himself, he does have some skills. But she changed her tone, with eyes like autumn waves gazing at Jiang Fan. "But a distant water cannot quench present thirst. Sister thinks it's better to have you first to quench the thirst." Swish. Her playful voice still hung in the air when, in the next instant, she appeared in front of Jiang Fan and grabbed Jiang Fan's right hand. In her hand was a wish paper that was just about to be activated. "Hee, you were thinking of using the wish paper to escape." The Demoness moved closer, and a captivating, dense fragrance filled the air. Her delicate and charming face was full of smiles. The wish paper, outside of the Confucian practitioners of Hunyuan State, costs life force for anyone who uses it. If you turned into an old man, it would break sister's heart. Jiang Fan's heart sank. Perhaps it was because the wish paper was refined from materials imbued with righteous energy from Hunyuan State. This Demoness had an unusually keen sense of the wish paper. As soon as he took one out, the Demoness immediately noticed. Seeing the Demoness leaning in to kiss him, Jiang Fan hurriedly shouted, "Don't come any closer, I have the sage's engraving on me." The Demoness abruptly stopped, eyeing him with caution. She scanned Jiang Fan with her eyes, doubting. "If you had the engraving, why didn't you use it during the fight with that old guy earlier?" "I don't believe it." Jiang Fan gritted his teeth and said, "Hit me and see." The Demoness, skeptical, raised her dainty fist and gave Jiang Fan a light punch. The next moment, she was in a daze, hooking Jiang Fan's neck, pulling him into her embrace, seizing the opportunity. Jiang Fan swallowed a large mouthful of space-time dust and decisively activated the wish paper. "May I travel 80,000 miles?" But before he could finish his wish, a mass of demonic qi sealed his mouth. The Demoness had swiftly regained her senses. She was hardly affected by the sage's engraving. Suddenly, Jiang Fan realized. The demoness was under the Usura Saint Sun's protection. He must have left some life-saving methods on her. Perhaps it was also the sage's engraving. So Jiang Fan's sage's engraving couldn't deeply affect her. To hit is to kiss, to curse is to love. The demoness lay in Jiang Fan's arms, giggling with delight. Her ample chest heaved and pressed against Jiang Fan's chest. Which sage engraved such words for you? Sister really loves it. Jiang Fan was stunned for a moment, then felt a bit like spitting blood. Such engravings, indeed, would make respectable women feel ashamed and furious. But for a demoness who inherently wanted to take advantage of him, it was simply divine assistance. Jiang Fan felt like crying but had no tears to shed, saying, "Senior, please let me go. What do you like about me? Can't I change it?" The demoness laughed even more freely, scratching Jiang Fan's nose with her index finger. "I like everything about you. Let's go, lest long nights bring dreams. Sister will take you to have fun first." Seeing himself about to be taken away, Jiang Fan gritted his teeth and shouted, "Wu Yu Venerable, you finally came." "What?" The demoness was shocked, quickly using instantaneous movement to dodge. Taking the chance, Jiang Fan activated the wish paper. "Restore all cultivation." Instantly, dozens of space-time dust were consumed. The lost void flow thunder force and nascent soul power were instantly restored. He dared not hesitate. With a thought, the scattered, mysterious demon liquid returned to his body, distributing as grains around him. Meanwhile, the 3 top-grade spirit swords behind him trembled rapidly, ready to unsheath at any moment. Thus, Jiang Fan felt slightly reassured. The demoness, on the other hand, nervously scanned the surroundings, only reacting once she confirmed there was no aura of Wu Yu Venerable. She squinted her phoenix eyes at Jiang Fan. "You tricked me. What's more, how did you know Wu Yu Venerable is in Taikang great state, and why did you know I'd fear her? Could it be you incited him to chase me?" Jiang Fan secretly tread cautiously. This woman, whose mind was full of men, was surprisingly clever. She immediately guessed it was Jiang Fan who urged Wu Yu Venerable to chase her. What made Jiang Fan cautiously tread even more was, since the demoness said so, she must have met Wu Yu Venerable, and successfully escaped from his grasp. This indicated the demoness had exceptionally strong abilities. Jiang Fan did not intend to lie, snorted. "So what if it is?" The demoness showed a surprised expression, not only not angry but growing more intrigued. "Hee, now I want to have you even more. My favorite thing is dangerous men like you. Conquering you will be more interesting." Jiang Fan felt a chill in his heart, shouted, "I advise you to leave quickly, or you'll not only miss out on me but also lose a tooth." The 3 top-grade spirit swords behind him trembled incessantly. The demoness covered her mouth, giggling ceaselessly. "Those tricks won't work on me." The black divine ring behind her suddenly flickered uncertainly. She was about to activate her domain. Jiang Fan deemed it unfavorable, hurriedly took out the wish paper, intending to wish for resistance against the domain. But it was a step too late, as the fluctuation radiated over his body. Jiang Fan's mind instantly went blank, losing himself completely, standing motionless in place. The demoness laughed lightly, gracefully walking toward Jiang Fan, her snow-white arm hooking around Jiang Fan's neck. "Little man, be a good concubine for sister. Sister guarantees to take care of you." But just then, a heavy cold snort sounded without warning above their heads. The demoness's delicate body trembled, and the divine ring above swayed violently, dispelling the domain she had created. Jiang Fan also instantly came to his senses, hurriedly using spatial teleportation to move away. He looked around with a face full of surprise and suspicion. What happened? The domain imposed on him was suddenly dispersed by a mysterious force. The demoness was a venerable. The only thing capable of dispersing her power must be an even more formidable presence. And currently in Taikang state, only 2 beings in the divinity transformation realm could have such divine might. One was Wu Yu Venerable, but if it was him, he would have struck directly. The other. Jiang Fan glanced at the connecting sky-black pillar, his face stiffening instantly. "No way," she appeared at this time. The demoness looked around cautiously, called out in a deep voice, "Who disrupted my plans?" Boom. The sky suddenly became overcast and turbulent. Vast yin qi surged like a torrent, enveloping the land. Amidst the yin qi, a stunning 18-year-old girl in a green skirt, her face full of icy coldness, descended while controlling the overwhelming yin qi. Above her head, 2 crowns vaguely circled. The demoness was shocked. "Usura King, or 2-crown Usura King?" Where did the Usura clan come from in Central Earth? The newcomer was none other than Green Pearl. She slowly descended, and the overwhelming yin-chi poured into her body like a flood. Her graceful eyes, unfriendly, fixed on the demoness. "The man I want to kill, how dare you steal?" Jiang Fan's mouth twitched lightly. "Green Pearl's wife, you don't have to be so ruthless, right?" The demoness was stunned for a moment, unable to resist sneering. "I wondered who it was. Turns out it's someone competing with me for a man." Green Pearl, embarrassed and annoyed. "Who's your wife? Shut up." She glared viciously at the demoness. "I'm about to do serious business. Get lost." The demoness's charming eyes flickered, weighing retreat and stay. Finally, upon seeing Venerate Zinni's situation, she gritted her teeth and said, "I won't let you have such top-grade men. If you want to take my man, show your skills." Green Pearl laughed in anger. "Who's competing with you for a man? I'm here to skin him alive. Since you're courting death, don't blame me. With just you, a venerable of Central Earth, you can't escape my grasp." Unexpectedly, as soon as the words fell, a slightly chilly voice drifted over. "What about also me?" The true word venerable in a yellow gown came instantly through the air. Green Pearl and the demoness both looked over. The demoness chuckled softly. "Interesting. Another one competing for a man with me?" The true word venerable staggered a bit, almost collapsing, embarrassed and annoyed. "Who's competing with you for a man?" "Who is an ally?" The demoness chuckled. "If you're not chasing men, why are you running so urgently?" Jiang Fan was slightly surprised and said, "Senior Zhenyan, why are you here?" Just as he asked, he understood. The true word venerable had learned about Chen Jing's betrayal. Out of shame, the true word venerable came to rescue him. The true word venerable blinked before Jiang Fan, gazing at him, unharmed in disbelief. She had hurried here by sensing the heavenly thunder stone filled with blood thunder. She detected the disappearance of the blood thunder's aura midway, thinking Jiang Fan had perished. Unexpectedly, Jiang Fan was completely fine. Even more unbelievably, Venerate Zinni was sitting on the ground, barely alive. What on earth happened? Anyway, Jiang Fan being safe was the best outcome. If Jiang Fan had died due to her disciple's betrayal, she'd blame herself for a lifetime. "You're okay, that's good." The true word venerable relaxed her tense heart. Jiang Fan laughed angrily. "Okay? Do you know how much I lost?" Thinking of the divinity transformation, yin corpse, wish paper, and red dust illusion sound, his heart ached. She who always contended with Jiang Fan couldn't utter a word. This time she was indeed at fault. She glanced at Green Pearl and the demoness, frowning. "What's happening now?" She didn't know the demoness, but surely recognized Green Pearl. Isn't that Jiang Fan's wife in the heavenly realm, Green Pearl, who washed her face with milk? The demoness chuckled. "Oh, so you're the true word venerable. I've long heard of you, the famed 2 women serving 1 man. Now it's a case of 3 women competing for 1 husband. Tusk tusk, true word venerable, you're playing quite big." The true word venerable flushed red. "Who's competing for a husband with you?" "Jiang Fan, let's go." She pressed on Jiang Fan's shoulder, ready to leave in a flash. The demoness smiled charmingly. Hey, you think you can just snatch our husband away? Take this first." The divine ring behind her head activated swiftly, its invisible ripples sweeping across. Jiang Fan's mind went blank again, losing control of his body. The true word venerable regained clarity instantly, snorting, "Your domain is shameless, specifically targeting men." The demoness shrugged. "Otherwise, how would I have so many concubines?" Jiang Fan soon regained consciousness too and immediately said, "Senior Zhenyan, ask her who the Usura Saint Sun is. She's in big trouble." With the Usura Saint Sun's methods, he must have left contingencies on soul refining and the demoness. Should either reveal his identity, he'll surely sense it. Just like when soul refining was taken into the transmission array, the Usura Saint Sun immediately noticed and pursued across space. The demoness is no different. Her biggest weakness is keeping the Usura Saint Sun's secret. And the true word venerable happens to be the unrivaled tool for prying open secrets. The true word venerable understood, instantly activating her domain. "Who is the Usura Saint Sun?" The demoness's face turned serious, coldly shouting, "You think I'd tell you?" However, once she opened her mouth, she couldn't lie. Uncontrollably saying, "The Usura Saint Sun is." Terror filled her, and as she was about to reveal the Usura Saint Sun's identity, she resolutely bit off her own tongue. Blood gushed out instantly, and part of her tongue fell. Her mouth filled with blood spewed out muddled, unintelligible words. Jiang Fan couldn't help but slap his thigh. "Just a bit more." If the demoness reacted a moment slower, the Usura Saint Sun's identity would be exposed. The demoness spat out the blood in her mouth, swallowed a healing pill, and her tongue quickly healed. She was shocked and angry. How do you know about that man? She almost got killed by Jiang Fan. If she exposed the Usura Saint's son's identity, she'd surely die. Jiang Fan said, I was fortunate enough to be chased by him via transmission array, nearly lost my life. That grudge I remember well. The demoness was bewildered, forced to reevaluate Jiang Fan. Goodness, little man, becoming increasingly dangerous. I'm determined to eat you up. She clenched her palm. 7 black rings surged with demonic chi, attacking the true word venerable. The true word venerable's expression shifted slightly, protecting Jiang Fan with her left hand and summoning a fan with her right hand, revealing a brand new Phoenix Feather 9 Flames fan. With its flutter, a sea of flames surged forth. Black demonic flames, red sea of fire, like 2 different waves clashing. The demoness gritted her teeth lightly, hateful woman even using a top-grade spiritual artifact. You really go all out for snatching a man? The true word venerable lightly scolded. For the last time, I'm not snatching a man. I'm just protecting him. The demoness replied, an explanation is a cover and a cover is a fact. The true word venerable was exasperated. You. Shut up, take this. The demoness. Can't win in words, resort to fighting? Come on, who's afraid of whom? Both exerted divine skills and spiritual artifacts, arcs splattering, venerable power sweeping through. A massive rumbles engulfed the area. For a moment, the two were evenly matched. Jiang Fan was secretly astonished. He realized he had underestimated the true word venerable's combat prowess. He thought her domain was of a supportive type, weakening her strength drastically. But she couldn't stand that. She's the daughter of Xingyuan Venerable, with deep foundations. Jiang Fan struggled in the heavenly realm doing tasks, just to exchange for refining a top-grade spiritual artifact. The true word venerable ruined a top-grade spiritual artifact Phoenix Feather 9 Flames fan and quickly obtained a brand new one. However, he couldn't just watch. A quick glance found Green Pearl with her arms crossed, coldly watching the 2 women fight, clearly harboring thoughts of sitting back and reaping the benefits. Jiang Fan couldn't let that happen. His eyes shifted. Green Pearl's wife, don't just stand there, let's kick out the demoness first. Oh. Green Pearl instinctively dropped her arms, ready to join the battle. She suddenly realized, resentful, who's your ally? I'll kill you first. She gritted her silver teeth, instantaneously moved with eyes spewing fire, and that cute yet fake innocent spiritual pet of yours. I'll send you master and pet off together. The dueling demoness and true word venerable's expressions changed slightly. Their attacking spiritual artifacts swiftly targeted Green Pearl. Green Pearl didn't even look back, casually waved, forming a demon hand out of concentrated yin chi to knock away both spiritual artifacts. Jiang, no one can save you. Jiang Fan's heart froze. A 2-crown Usura king, the demoness and true word venerable were no match for her might. He had to weaken Green Pearl. Eyes flashing, he sternly shouted, Green Pearl immobile as a mountain. The space-time dust in her mouth drastically depleted, 50 particles vanishing instantly, and the prepared wish paper in her sleeve successfully activated. As Green Pearl charged, a majestic force suddenly locked her in place, making it difficult to move. The demoness and true word venerable seized the chance, simultaneously wielding their spiritual artifacts. One black, one red, the 2 flames enveloped her. Though just a momentary freeze, Green Pearl was nonetheless hit. Ah, she groaned painfully, yin chi leaking from her entire body, her mouth dripped with blood. The 2 crowns atop her head frantically crossed and spun, her aura no longer in its peak state. She raised her head, not at the demoness and true word venerable who attacked her, but furiously glaring at Jiang Fan. I'll kill you! Jiang Fan actually allied with other women to attack her. Unbelievable. Fan, feeling somewhat guilty under her glare, said, You're trying to skin me alive, so am I wrong to fight back? Green Pearl angrily replied, Yes, you're not wrong, I'm the one at fault, is that okay? She formed her 5 fingers into a claw and fiercely grabbed at Jiang Fan. The overwhelming yin chi demon claw quickly enveloped Jiang Fan. The demoness and true word venerable's expressions slightly changed, launching an attack from behind her again. Green Pearl had no choice but to retract her hand, deciding to defeat the 2 women first. Despite being injured, she still exploded with crushing combat power, causing the demoness and true word venerable to retreat step by step. Even though true word venerable used a top-grade spiritual artifact, and the demoness used all her strength. But Green Pearl's strength was like an insurmountable mountain, oppressing them to the point where they couldn't breathe. The demoness whispered, Did this little girl swallow gunpowder? This isn't stealing a man, this is risking her life. True Word Venerable suppressed the metallic taste in her throat, unable to speak of her bitterness. For some reason, when Green Pearl attacked her, it was noticeably harsher than against the demoness. The look in her eyes was also clearly more hostile toward the True Word Venerable than towards the demoness. This left True Word Venerable confused, and Jiang Fan could see that the demoness and True Word Venerable were about to be overwhelmed. Not daring to hesitate, he said, "You too, suppress her as best as you can." The two women glanced at Venerate Zinni and immediately understood that Jiang Fan was about to unleash a kill strike capable of taking down a Venerate. Without delay, they forced themselves to endure Green Pearl's enormous onslaught, simultaneously unleashing the power of their spiritual artifacts. Two waves of fire once again besieged Green Pearl. The combined attack of the two Venerables, along with the strike from Jiang Fan capable of slaying a Venerate. Green Pearl is sure to be severely wounded. Clang! Jiang Fan seized the opportunity, and three top-grade spirit swords were unsheathed in unison. Green Pearl, realizing that Jiang Fan still intended to attack her, became completely furious. "You're still coming at me?" she shouted, her eyes spinning with two mysterious ripples. It was her bloodline talent, deleting memory. The ripples swept out, and the demoness and True Word Venerable suddenly felt a blank in their minds. It was as if something was pressing down on their memories. Both were dazed, standing in place, even forgetting why they were there at that moment. Their attacks lost their support and dissipated one after another. Green Pearl broke free from the clutches of the black and red fire waves, glaring at Jiang Fan with a frosty face. She let out a voice as cold as ice. "Jiang Fan, I won't let you off." Jiang Fan's heart skipped a beat. He had underestimated the strength of a two-crown Usura king. The gap between two crowns and one is not something that can be bridged by sheer numbers. Looking at the approaching Green Pearl, he said awkwardly, "Green Pearl, will you listen to me make excuses one more time?" Green Pearl was even angrier. "Do you think I can be fooled by you again? You lying fraud." Swoosh. Green Pearl instantly teleported over, grasping the three top-grade spirit swords, which hadn't yet formed a divine rainbow in her hand. Her face was less than a foot away from Jiang Fan, so close they could hear each other's breathing. "You should pay the price." She raised her hand, ready to slap down hard. Jiang Fan's heart pounded crazily, but he remained relatively calm. Because he still had the sage's engraving, Green Pearl's slap would render her in a state of self-loss, and that would be his chance to escape. However, the imagined scene of her slapping him did not occur. Just as her slap was about to reach his chest, Green Pearl suddenly withdrew her force, finally landing a light pat instead. Her face remained icy, but her eyes carried a touch of mist, and her voice quivered with a slight tremor. "You're the one who deceived me, making me gnash my teeth in hatred. And the one who moved me by using your body to shield me from the sun-chasing Usura King is also you. Jiang Fan, which is the real you? Why do you make me both hate and unable to forget you? Why?" Jiang Fan was dumbfounded. It turned out Green Pearl still remembered when Jiang Fan sheltered her from the Shura King transformed into the three-star giant king. She had always held a grudge about it. He sighed lightly and said, "Both are true. Deceiving you is true. You and I are enemies. I needed to save my life. Saving you is also true. You're not bad. I didn't want to see you die. Is this answer enough?" Upon hearing the first sentence, Green Pearl angrily raised her hand again, but after hearing the second, she slowly lowered it. In the end, she silently retracted it. It was as if she had unraveled a knot in her heart, tears sliding down as she choked back tears. "Do you know what I was thinking when you risked your life to protect me? I was thinking, if you came back alive from Red Sleeves, what harm would it do to become your real wife? You're the first person to risk their life for me, yet I erased your memories and used you. How guilty do you think I feel about this?" Jiang Fan tried to reach out to wipe away her tears. Green Pearl nudged his hand away, biting her red lips slightly. "But I didn't expect it wasn't me deceiving you. It was you who were deceiving me all along. Do you know how angry I was when I learned the truth? I was so furious I felt like my lungs were going to explode. Do you know what that's like?" At this point, she couldn't help but laugh herself. But she thought she shouldn't laugh and forced herself to look angry. For a moment, she looked both angry and amusing. Jiang Fan cleared his throat and said, "Then it's still not too late for you to become my real wife now." Green Pearl truly laughed in anger, clenched her fists, and said, "In your dreams, you tricked me like a fool and still want me to be your real wife. You've already missed the moment when I was most moved. You'll regret it for the rest of your life. You'll never get me again." HMPH. She placed her hands on her hips and arrogantly raised her little chin like a proud little peacock, snorted coquettishly. Jiang Fan was helplessly amused. He wanted to give Green Pearl a piece of his mind, as he wasn't lacking in women. But clearing up the misunderstanding with difficulty, how could he provoke this little tigress again? Then you should quickly return to the heavenly realm. With all this commotion, if the great wine sacrifice catches up, it'll be hard for you to leave. Hearing Jiang Fan's concern, Green Pearl's resentment lessened. But she still rolled her eyes. No need for your fake concern, I have my own discretion. She turned her head to look at Venerate Zinni, who was barely alive, gasping for air. Her face turned cold. Are you Venerate Zinni? I've heard you can move the connecting sky-black pillar. The demoness and true word Venerable gradually freed themselves from the influence of the bloodline talent and regained their memories. Upon hearing this, the two women's eyes flickered and they glanced quietly at Jiang Fan. The main figure was right there, but they didn't utter a word. Instead, they looked at Venerate Zinni, feeling a sense of tension. It seemed Green Pearl's real target was to kill the mover of the connecting sky-black pillar. If Venerate Zinni exposed Jiang Fan, would Green Pearl let him off? If she did, she herself wouldn't be able to report back. Jiang Fan's expression tightened too. Venerate Zinni must resent him for bringing him to this point, right? If he spoke the truth, then Jiang Fan and Green Pearl might also be forced into outright conflict. It's a situation he really didn't want to see. Upon hearing the inquiry, Venerate Zinni struggled to lift his head, a trace of confusion flashing in his eyes. When can he move the connecting sky-black pillar? Isn't the one who can truly move it Jiang Fan? Noticing Jiang Fan's tense expression, he suddenly understood. It seems this good disciple of his had prepared to kill him since the heavenly realm. Upon realizing this, he felt his death was underserved. Unable to resist shrugging with a slight chuckle, Green Pearl frowned. Not answering is just admitting by silence. She turned to Jiang Fan. I won't kill you nor those two female venerables. I only need to kill this mover of the connecting sky-black pillar to report back to the five-star giant king. You won't stop me, will you? Jiang Fan said nothing and silently closed his eyes. A moment of silence in his heart. Perhaps this is better. After all, Venerate Zinni is my master. Dying by my hand would be inappropriate. Green Pearl ending his life may not be a bad thing. Both True Word Venerable and the demoness subtly let out a sigh. Silent and speechless, seeing their expressions, Green Pearl nodded satisfactorily. Both sides have retreated, this is the best course. She stepped in front of Venerate Zinni, indifferently saying, Killing you is not my intention, but one is powerless in the heavenly realm. I will give you a swift end. She fashioned her hand into a blade, cutting towards Venerate Zinni's neck. This strike was to end it all. Unexpectedly, a voice full of cold laughter came from not far away. Senior Usura King, that is not the mover of the connecting sky-black pillar. The true mover of the connecting sky-black pillar is another. The crowd simultaneously looked over. They saw a figure swiftly flying through the air. In a blue robe with disheveled hair, madness and defiance were etched on his face. As soon as his gaze landed on Jiang Fan, it showed malice. Who else could it be but Chen Jing? True Word Venerable's lovely eyes filled with anger as she harshly spoke. Chen Jing, what do you intend to do? Get lost. She truly didn't expect Chen Jing to dare follow. Moreover, intending to snitch once more, the demoness narrowed her peach blossom eyes with murder dancing inside, directly attacking Chen Jing. 7 rings from her hand shot out instantly. But a gigantic demon claw formed from condensed yin qi blocked the rings. Green Pearl, her face stern, coldly said, Wait until he's done speaking before you kill him. She exuded a powerful aura, intimidating True Word Venerable and the demoness, then scanned Chen Jing with a cool gaze. You say the mover of the connecting sky-black pillar is not this person. Chen Jing landed, hands behind his back, an insidious smile on his face. This person's name is Venerate Zinni, from the heavenly state. He is definitely not the mover of the connecting sky-black pillar. Green Pearl's gaze was sharp as she glared fiercely at Jiang Fan. You deceived me again? She then sternly asked Chen Jing. Who is the one capable of moving the connecting sky-black pillar? Chen Jing laughed with satisfaction as if he were the ultimate victor. The corners of his mouth lifted slightly. He is the one known throughout Taikang State. With a sinister smile, he raised his finger, slowly pointing at Jiang Fan. The Chief Deputy Pavilion Master of Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, Jiang Fan. Buzz. It was as if Green Pearl's head had been struck with a hammer, causing it to hum loudly. Jiang Fan is the mover of the connecting sky-black pillar. The person she was tasked to kill was Jiang Fan. She turned her head slowly and looked at Jiang Fan before her, unable to accept it for a moment. Her voice trembled lightly. "Is it really you?" She was ordered to kill the mover of the connecting sky-black pillar. Failing to complete the task, she could not report back. But how could she bring herself to harm Jiang Fan? Yet without killing Jiang Fan, how could she fulfill her duty? Would the five-star Giant King spare her? Jiang Fan, meeting Green Pearl's lightly trembling eyes, felt a heavy heart. "Did the five-star Giant King give you a military command?" Upon hearing this question, Green Pearl's last hope in her heart shattered. The person she was to kill was indeed Jiang Fan. In a daze, she nodded. "Either I return with your head or I return my own head." Jiang Fan slightly closed his eyes. Even meeting Venerate Zinni in battle made him somewhat sad. Let alone with Green Pearl, he gritted his teeth, eyes full of hatred as he looked at Chen Jing. "You deserve to die," with a swift movement. He flew over, slashing a sword at Chen Jing's neck without turning his head. "Green Pearl, let us put our matters aside for now. Allow me to kill him first." Chen Jing did not dodge or evade, laughing skyward. Kill me before my master. If you kill me, there will forever be a layer of estrangement between the two of you, hee-hee." Buzz. The purple sword grazed the skin on his neck, brushing past. Jiang Fan coldly stared at him, refraining from making a move. No matter how hateful Chen Jing was, he was still True Word Venerable's disciple. Killing her disciple before her eyes would create an insurmountable rift between them, even if there were no other grievances. The demoness glanced around, playfully covering her mouth with a smile. "Young gentleman, go ahead and kill. Kill him, and you and True Word Venerable will be impossible, leaving me with one less rival." True Word Venerable glared at Chen Jing with utter disdain. "Most reprehensible," Chen Jing laughed heartily. "I've long been shameless. I was too much of a gentleman to exploit vulnerability, allowing Jiang Fan to take advantage. Fortunately, heaven sees all. You will soon lose your domain for Jiang Fan. Your life will not be long. You two shall not grow old together. Ha ha ha." Jiang Fan's body shook, gazing at True Word Venerable incredulously. Indeed, the divine ring on the back of True Word Venerable's head showed a flaw. He gasped in shock. "Did you sacrifice your domain for me? When was this?" True Word Venerable stared at Chen Jing with utmost disgust. Especially when seeing Jiang Fan's concerned and guilty look, the disgust deepened. She avoided Jiang Fan's gaze, murmuring, "It's all past now." Jiang Fan left Chen Jing and swiftly approached True Word Venerable. At close range, he finally sensed a faint stench. His heart was shaken beyond words, soon understanding when it had happened. "Did you see Venerate Zinni's wish paper pointing to me? Yet you concealed it from me?" Jiang Fan was in a daze. At that time, he and True Word Venerable had just reconciled, owing nothing to each other. Yet she'd rather damage her domain to help him hide it from Venerate Zinni. "It's fine, amidst the ancient giant catastrophe, I might not survive. I might die before the heavenly human decline tribulation arrives." Chen Jing laughed heartily. "Jiang Fan, how does it feel? For my master to die for you, and yet you unable to save her, aren't you resentful of yourself? I suggest you slap yourself a few times, perhaps it will make you feel slightly better." True Word Venerable's rage reached a peak. "Despicable, shameless creature." Chen Jing laughed more wantonly. "Master, I may not get you, but it doesn't matter. Jiang Fan won't have you either. I will continue our master-disciple relationship underground. Let Jiang Fan regret for a lifetime above ground." True Word Venerable, pushed beyond patience, raised her fan to strike him. However, Jiang Fan gently grasped her snow-white cool wrist. "Who says your master cannot be saved?" Jiang Fan looked at Chen Jing with a faint yet determined smile. He suddenly felt that killing Chen Jing with one strike would be too lenient. Jing is not afraid of death. The path of reverse intent he follows fears no death. Killing him would not cause him pain. Only one thing would make him wish for death. "True words your father promised you to me, right?" Jiang Fan asked. Upon hearing this, Chen Jing immediately lost his smile. His eyes turned cold and sharp, and he scoffed. "Don't think you can provoke me. My master has said that I only respect you without romantic feelings. She will not marry you as per her father's commands." True Word Venerable glared at him but didn't deny it. Indeed, she would not obey Xingyuan Venerable's orders. And indeed, she had no romantic feelings towards Jiang Fan. Their relationship was far from reaching the point of discussing marriage. Jiang Fan continued with a meaningful tone. "What if I help her restore her domain?" "What?" Chen Jing was taken aback. "Impossible. Once the heavenly human decline tribulation descends, one must either break through the realm or have a sage intervene to reverse it." "Are you claiming to be a sage?" True Word Venerable also looked at Jiang Fan with some surprise, with doubt filling her eyes. Was Jiang Fan deliberately enraging Chen Jing by saying this? Jiang Fan said, "Just tell me, if I help you restore your domain, will you follow Xingyuan Venerable's arrangements and marry me as my wife?" True Word Venerable avoided Jiang Fan's gaze, lightly chiding. "Don't even think about it." But after pausing, she lamented softly, "However, my scandal with you is known throughout Hunyuan state. Unless I never marry in this lifetime. If I do marry, it can only be to you." Jiang Fan smiled slightly. "Those words are enough." He held the wish paper in his hand and said, "Then I will wait for you to marry me." Swallowing over 100 grains of space-time dust, Jiang Fan decisively activated the wish paper. True Word Venerable's domain, restore. True Word Venerable was greatly shocked and hurriedly said, "Don't meddle. Reversing the heavenly human decline tribulation is opposing the heavenly Tao. Even my father doesn't dare to make such a rebellious wish." "Stop right now." The wish had already been cast, and Jiang Fan's body aged rapidly, becoming a white-haired old man in the blink of an eye. But immediately, he was partially restored by the powerful life force of the space-time dust. And then it continued to decline. In this repeated cycle, when all 100 grains of space-time dust were completely consumed, the wish paper finally activated, turning into a blaze of light. Then a uniquely resonant rhythm descended from the heavens upon True Word Venerable. The corner of the divine ring at the back of her head, astonishingly, was reshaped. The decaying stench emanating from her body also quickly dissipated. This signified the restoration of her domain. True Word Venerable, unable to attend to her own changes, gazed at Jiang Fan with indescribable emotions, his hair slightly white. Even an idiot could understand that Jiang Fan must have paid an unimaginable price to fulfill the wish. Was it worth it? She asked the same question the Bodhisattva had asked her before. Jiang Fan dusted the ashes of the wish paper from his hands, looking at True Word Venerable's perfectly restored divine ring, smiling slightly. "You, who will be my wife, are of course worth it." Listening to Jiang Fan's half-joking words, True Word Venerable's gaze was complex. After watching Jiang Fan for a long while, she nodded softly. "Fine. If we survive the ancient giant catastrophe, you and I both, I will marry you." Jiang Fan was taken aback, gazing at True Word Venerable's divine ring at the back of her head. "Senior Zhenyan, don't take it seriously. I was just trying to provoke Chen Jing. There's not that much romantic feeling between you and me." At this moment, True Word Venerable's domain had already been restored. The words she spoke were assuredly what she truly thought. True Word Venerable earnestly said, "Love affairs require romantic feelings, marriage does not. Consider it a way of repaying you with my life." Jiang Fan was momentarily stunned. He had never imagined he and True Word Venerable would reach this point. After all, the two had always been in a state of mutual hostility. Unexpectedly, by the twists of fate, True Word Venerable would ultimately become his future bride. "Jiang Fan!" A venomous roar interrupted Jiang Fan's moment of daze. Jiang Fan focused his gaze. Chen Jing, out of rage, had his facial features twisted together, with seething malice in his eyes. Not only would True Word Venerable not die due to the heavenly human decline tribulation, but she also agreed to marry Jiang Fan. How could he accept this? Jiang Fan chuckled, holding True Word Venerable's hand. She instinctively wanted to pull back, but on second thought, she had already agreed to marry Jiang Fan. What harm was there in merely holding hands? Thus, she allowed Jiang Fan to hold her smooth hand, as smooth as jade. Jiang Fan said, "Chen Jing, you should thank yourself for repeatedly pushing us, bringing my master and me together. Without you causing trouble at the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, True Words wouldn't have reconciled with me. Without you tattling to venerate Zinni, True Words would not have come to save me today. Without your hostile words, I wouldn't have restored True Words' domain right now. Two people like True Words and I, who wouldn't have had any future interactions, were forced together by you. On behalf of True Words, I thank you, his good disciple. When True Words and I marry, we will definitely keep a seat for you." True Word Venerable listened and couldn't help but consider the cause and effect. Upon careful thought, it truly was so. If Chen Jing hadn't taken action step by step, there would eternally be no connection between her and Jiang Fan. If after returning from Hunyuan State, Chen Jing had quietly cultivated at Washing Moon Lake without seeking trouble with Jiang Fan, then she would have continued to practice in seclusion at Washing Moon Lake until the ancient giant descended. Afterwards, she would have entered the great battle of the ancient giant. There would virtually be no further connection with Jiang Fan. However, Chen Jing's actions inadvertently altered everything, and miraculously brought them together. If Chen Jing had taken one less step, none of this would have happened. It can only be said that cause and effect, the craftsmanship of destiny, incites size. No, it's not like this, Chen Jing roared in madness. He couldn't accept that his master actually promised to marry Jiang Fan. What crumbled him even more was that he had facilitated it all. He himself had personally placed the woman he cherished into Jiang Fan's arms. Suddenly he saw the composed green pearl, his gaze immediately turning venomous. Usura King, didn't you come to kill Jiang Fan? Quick, kill him. He's heavily indebted to the Great Wine sacrificial artifact and has several demon venerables as peers. If you don't kill him now, you'll have no chance later. Green Pearl glanced at him indifferently. Her eyes showed disgust, and she casually struck his abdomen with a palm. With a muffled poof sound, Chen Jing's nascent soul within his abdomen exploded, and countless nascent soul power spread out through his pores. Ah, you destroyed my cultivation. Chen Jing howled in pain, rolling repeatedly on the ground. I am helping you, Green Pearl said coldly. A disciple who betrays his master deserves to be punished by everyone. Furthermore, the matter between Jiang Fan and me is not for you to manage. Ending the noise in her ears, Green Pearl slowly looked towards Jiang Fan, her eyes filled with complexity, saying, I've dealt with Chen Jing for you. Now it's time to resolve the matter between us. Fan nodded lightly, already having some plans in mind. Green Pearl, you and I might not need to go to the point of conflict. The reason you joined the ancient giants was because you were expelled from the Usura village and had nowhere to go. Instead of staying with the ruthless ancient giants, why not stay in Central Earth? He extended his hand to Green Pearl. I have already gained the Great Wine Sacrifice's consent to receive any Usura clan members who wish to seek refuge. With your cultivation, the Great Wine Sacrifice would definitely welcome your joining. There's no need for you to serve the ancient giants anymore. Listening to Jiang Fan's invitation, Green Pearl was stunned for a long time. After a while, her charming face was filled with bitterness. Have you forgotten what the original star of the five-star giant king is? Jiang Fan replied without hesitation. It's foreseeing the future. After a pause, he suddenly realized. Are you saying the five-star giant king foresaw that I would invite you? Green Pearl smiled bitterly. I just understood now why the five-star giant king suddenly caught up with me before I set off and asked me to hand over a strand of soul power. Turns out he foresaw the scene where you invited me. She wondered why the five-star giant king was on guard against her, because even she hadn't thought about reconciling with Jiang Fan. It was only at the moment she could kill Jiang Fan that she realized she came looking for him not to kill him, but to get an answer. Unexpectedly, the five-star giant king's foresight had already seen through the current outcome. Jiang Fan's face darkened. What a troublesome original star. Is that strand of soul power a mortal threat to you? Green Pearl nodded. The five-star giant king holds the curse power bestowed by the giant emperor. Using that strand of soul left in the heavenly realm, it's enough to curse and kill me across realms. This was troubling. Green Pearl had a fatal weakness in the hands of the five-star giant king. She couldn't possibly resist. And if she couldn't bring back Jiang Fan's head, Green Pearl would have to offer up her own head. Between the two, one must die. Green Pearl stared at Jiang Fan for a long time, biting her red lips, suddenly asking an irrelevant question. What's your relationship with Red Sleeves? Jiang Fan replied. A cooperative relationship. She blocked the five-star giant king for me, and I gave her some resources the Usura clan needed. Green Pearl suspiciously asked. Just cooperation. Then why did she give you the talent bloodline for memory deletion to deal with me? Did you two conspire together, getting involved romantically? Jiang Fan was amused and helpless. Red Sleeves is such a clever person. Aren't you aware of that? How could she be fooled by a few words from me? She hopes I can keep you in Central Earth forever, not returning to the heavenly realm. Green Pearl thought for a while and nodded slightly. It's possible. That woman, no man can control her. Not even you. Jiang Fan couldn't be bothered to try to control such a smart woman. He couldn't help asking. At a time like this, why are you asking about Red Sleeves? Green Pearl snorted. I want to know if you've betrayed me. Jiang Fan was speechless. Between him and Green Pearl, it was actually very pure. Even if he did get involved with Red Sleeves, it wouldn't count as betraying Green Pearl, would it? Seemingly understanding Jiang Fan's mood, Green Pearl snorted lightly. That woman is my lifelong enemy. If you become her man, then you're my enemy too. Jiang Fan shrugged. And then, knowing I didn't betray you, you still want to kill me now, don't you? Green Pearl stepped forward and knocked Jiang Fan's head lightly. Dummy, who says one must die or live? Green Pearl proudly said. I'll just take Venerate Zinni's head back and report, claiming he's the connecting sky black pillar mover. Who in the heavenly realm would know that I'm lying? Of course, the premise is that after I return to the heavenly realm, you don't move the connecting sky black pillar. Otherwise, my lie will be exposed, and I'll have no place to be buried. This was why Green Pearl needed to confirm whether Jiang Fan had betrayed her. She was risking losing her head to help Jiang Fan hide the truth. If Jiang Fan wanted to harm her, he only needed to move the connecting sky black pillar to ruin her. Jiang Fan was a bit moved. This foolish girl was even planning to keep it a secret from the five-star giant king. This was a matter of losing her head. Come to Central Earth after retrieving your soul. Jiang Fan's eyes softened. I'll take care of you. Green Pearl blushed, stamping her foot shyly. Who needs you to take care of me? I've said it, you've forever missed out on me. Don't ever think I'll be your wife again. Jiang Fan smiled without saying a word. He silently took out 2 Hell Abyss crystals. Green Pearl sensed something, looked sharply, her pupils shrinking as she exclaimed, "Complete Hell Abyss crystals, and 2. Oh my God, where did you get them? These are divine objects transformed from the cultivation of the fallen Hell Realm Master and the Asura clan. How do you have them? Of course, they're concentrated from the Hell Abyss crystal powder you sent me." Jiang Fan laughed inwardly. He grabbed Green Pearl's little hand, stuffed the 2 Hell Abyss crystals into her hand, and said, "Red Sleeves helped me delay the 5-star giant king, and I only gave her 2. Now I'm also giving you 2. Hearing this, Green Pearl was ecstatic. You mean that woman risked her life and only got 2? And I only need to help you tell a lie and I get 2? Jiang Fan nodded. Green Pearl's eyebrows raised with joy. She couldn't help laughing. Red Sleeves, oh Red Sleeves. Can you see how good Jiang Fan is to me? You want to compete with me for Jiang Fan? Can you win? Ha! She cheerfully accepted the Hell Abyss crystals and said, "With 1 Hell Abyss crystal, I can break through a level in a month. 2 should be enough for me to break through to 4-crowned Asura King." Thinking about it, she was overjoyed. She looked up at Jiang Fan and said, "Thank you, Jiang Fan." Jiang Fan shrugged. "It would be great if you could call me husband again." Green Pearl gave him a sideways glance. "Dream on, I'll never call you that again in my life. You better handle your business quickly. If you still need to use the connecting sky black pillar, you better move it soon. After you're done, I'll carry Venerate Zinni's head back to report." Jiang Fan nodded, the heavy burden lifting from his heart. The matter with the Void Flow Thunder Force and Green Pearl was perfectly resolved. Next, he just needs to cultivate diligently and find his true path as soon as possible. He must find the true path before the ancient giants arrive. Be careful, there's still one person here, with deep evil thoughts. Suddenly, Venerate Zinni spoke without warning. His voice was hoarse, only breath-like. His vitality was almost completely dissipated. Even so, relying on his keen sense of humanity's darkness, he discerned that there was an entity with extremely deep evil thoughts here. What? Is there another person? The demoness and True Word Venerable were both startled, looking around but detecting nothing. Only Green Pearl, after Venerate Zinni finished speaking, seemed to sense something. Without hesitation, she hit Jiang Fan, sending him flying. Then her entire body's yin qi surged violently toward a certain spot behind her. Puff, however. The yin qi seemed to collide with some unbeatable existence, splitting in 2. Under the washing of yin qi, a being of normal human clan size appeared. What shocked everyone was, there were actually 2 rotating stars on its forehead. This was the original star that only the Giant King had. Giant King threw a punch at Green Pearl. The destructive force of the domineering punch was enough to shatter Green Pearl's body into pieces. And he was too close to Green Pearl, striking too suddenly. There was no time for Green Pearl to react. By the time Green Pearl saw the punch, she didn't even have a chance to dodge with instantaneous movement. Her pupils shrank drastically, feeling death's shroud cover her. Her whole body went ice cold. Just as the fist neared, suddenly her collar was tugged, and the next moment she flew backward uncontrollably. It was Jiang Fan, being flung away, realized the danger, and hurriedly used the void fishing rod, instinctively reeling Green Pearl away with him. Bang, the punch hit empty air. The space where Green Pearl had been standing collapsed with a crash. If it had hit her, Green Pearl would have turned into a cloud of blood mist by now. Surviving a near-death experience, Green Pearl's heart thumped wildly, just about to express her gratitude. Suddenly, the mist punch bizarrely swelled several times its size. Green Pearl was still struck by the edge of the fist. Puh. In an instant, Green Pearl's delicate body was flung sideways, spraying blood, crashing heavily toward the ground in the direction of the void fishing rod. Green Pearl! Jiang Fan hurried to catch her, but as soon as he touched her, the terrifying power inside Green Pearl erupted, shattering his arm into a mist of blood on the spot. Don't touch her! True Word Venerable's face changed drastically. Quickly pushed Jiang Fan aside, catching Green Pearl with her own hands. Bang, bang, bang! A series of muffled rumbles spread from True Word Venerable's arms into her body. Crimson blood seeped from the corner of her mouth at an alarming rate. A wisp of pain spread across her pretty face. Such strong power! She looked toward the faintly discernible figure in the yin qi, her expression extremely grave. Jiang Fan, on the other hand, looked at Green Pearl with concern. Seeing she was still breathing, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. This injury was much lighter than when attacked by Ari Shura King. Hurriedly, he took out some revitalizing pills, swallowing a handful himself, feeding another to Green Pearl. Only then did he look at the attacker. Noticing the original star on their forehead, he couldn't help but be shocked. Two-star Giant King? How is that possible? The Giant King before him was only the size of an average human clan member. How could there be such a Giant King? Typically, a Giant King stood at least 20 feet tall. Even the Giant Emperor's daughter, Princess Zaijiang, was 8 feet high. How could this Giant King be similar in size to a human clan member? But that wasn't what shocked Jiang Fan the most. He was astonished by how the Giant King came to Central Earth. It was known that the connecting sky black pillar of Taikang State had always been in Black Cloud Village. According to the Heavenly Realm's laws, ancient giants couldn't enter the village until the Great Hunt Day. How did this two-star Giant King descend? He recalled the previous worries expressed at the Great Wine Sacrifice. It was mentioned that there was an aura of ancient giants on Taikang State. Then Jiang Fan didn't pay much mind, thinking it was remnants from 1,000 years ago, such as the cold mountain Giant King, with little power left, not a concern. Yet this two-star Giant King, at its peak strength and imposing, clearly just descended from the heavenly realm. Could it have descended through the connecting sky black pillar in another state, and traveled all the way to Taikang State? While Jiang Fan was bewildered, Green Pearl also struggled to lift her head. Looking at the two-star Giant King, bewilderment filled her face. How is there a two-star Giant King in Central Earth? She couldn't fathom where this two-star Giant King came from, until the two-star Giant King spoke coldly in the language of hell. Green Pearl, you have indeed betrayed the 5-star Giant King. Green Pearl was shocked. Were you sent by the 5-star Giant King? Why haven't I seen you before? And how did you come down here? True Word Venerable discreetly withdrew her domain, casting a deep look toward Green Pearl. Turning her head, she telepathically relayed to Jiang Fan. She's not lying. It turned out, True Word Venerable had initially suspected Green Pearl of bringing this 2-star Giant King down to the lower realm. So she secretly cast the True Word domain on her. Yet the result was Green Pearl didn't recognize this 2-star Giant King either. The yin qi dispersed. The true visage of the 2-star Giant King was revealed. An imposing Giant King with rough and cracked skin, exuding a primal aura donned in long black hair. On his forehead, 2 green stars revolved. His terrifying fist, several feet large, shrank drastically with the movement of the stars, finally becoming a normal size. Jiang Fan, having turned his gaze, speculated, the origin of this Giant King must be the freedom to change size at will. Only then could his strange physique be explained. And the freely resizable fist. This also enabled him to descend through the 4 feet wide connecting sky black pillar. However, this still doesn't explain how he bypassed Black Cloud Village and directly entered the connecting sky black pillar. The 2-star Giant King shot a glance at Jiang Fan, his massive eye occupying half his face, revealing a predator's cruelty. So you are the one who moved the connecting sky black pillar. Very well, I have your head reserved. Now I'll deal with the traitor first. The 2-star Giant King's gaze shifted to Green Pearl, voice dripping with menace. For a mere ant from Central Earth, you dared betray the King of the Black Sun Royal Court. Will you tear your own head off, or shall I do it? Green Pearl, struggling, jumped down from True Word Venerable's grip. You all go ahead, I'll handle him. But how could she be a match? The previous hit already took half her life. She couldn't withstand a full-force strike from the 2-star Giant King. Just one encounter would result in her demise. The demoness stepped back slowly, her voice tense. This type of Giant King is beyond what we can handle. The punch that nearly blasted Green Pearl sent chills through her heart. True Word Venerable also harbored deep caution. A two-star giant king at full strength was indeed not someone she and the demoness could handle together. Even with the injured Green Pearl, they couldn't stand a chance. The two-star giant king squinted, glaring coldly at Green Pearl, still daring to resist. "Then I'll handle it myself." Green Pearl showed a trace of despair, shouting, "Go, escape as far as you can." She was doomed. But suddenly, a broad silhouette appeared in front of her. It was Jiang Fan, standing guard before her. This scene mirrored what happened when Ari Shura King intended to kill her. "Don't show off, he's not like Ari Shura King," Green Pearl said anxiously. During the confrontation with Ari Shura King, he had lost his sanity, merely becoming bloodthirsty without a clear target. But this two-star giant king came specifically for Jiang Fan. Standing in front of her, was he not courting death? As expected. The two-star giant king's expression cooled, saying, "Perfect. I'll kill you both together, save me the trouble of hunting you one by one." Without another word, he retracted his fist, preparing to crush them both. Jiang Fan's face remained calm, said, "Try it if you dare." He flipped his palm, a mirror appearing held across his chest. In the mirror, a purple-skinned giant sat cross-legged, sealed within the mirror. Initially, the two-star giant king paid no attention. But when he saw the person inside the mirror, his expression drastically changed. "Princess Zai Jiang." Giant King hurriedly withdrew his punch. His face showed a shocked expression. "How come Princess Zai Jiang is in your hands? What's going on?" Jiang Fan's eyes narrowed slightly. He glanced sideways at Green Pearl. "Do you know Princess Zai Jiang?" Green Pearl shook her head. "Never heard of her." Jiang Fan looked at the two-star giant king, showing doubt. Both belonged to the Black Sun royal court, yet why did this two-star giant king recognize Princess Zai Jiang at a glance? He originally planned to make an introduction, but it's better that the other party can recognize her so he can threaten them more effectively. "As long as you know. Try to make a move, and I'll make your princess bleed on the spot. Let's see how you explain to the giant emperor when you return." The two-star giant king was instantly cautious. He looked at the trapped Princess Zai Jiang, both anxious and angry. "You little ant, how dare you treat our Princess Zai Jiang like this? Release her, or we'll bathe Taekang State in blood," Jiang Fan said coldly. "Words like these are pointless. Whether the ancient giants bathe Taekang State in blood or not is not for a two-star giant king to decide, nor can it be changed. The only thing you can decide is whether Princess Zai Jiang continues to live or perishes with me," the two-star giant king said in a deep voice. "What do you want?" Jiang Fan replied. "It's very simple, return to your heavenly realm. Also, keep Green Pearl's secret. It's as if nothing ever happened." The fierce gleam in the two-star giant king's eyes flickered. Jiang Fan held the mirror tightly and said, "You're just following orders. Is it worth risking your life like this? If Princess Zai Jiang dies because of you, will you still be alive? Is your work more important or your life more important? Is this a difficult decision?" The two-star giant king began to ponder. Jiang Fan's words were indeed not without reason. If he pretended to see nothing, he would remain safe. If he forcibly intervened, causing Princess Zai Jiang's death, he would also end up in a miserable state. The more you do, the more mistakes you make. The less you do, the fewer mistakes. Doing nothing, no mistake. This principle applies everywhere. Green Pearl's eyes flashed as well, saying, "That's right. Is it worth risking your life? Moreover, you probably aren't from the Black Sun Royal Court, so there's even less reason to risk your life for the five-star giant king of the Black Sun Royal Court." The true word Venerable and Demoness saw hope, and each wielded their own spiritual artifacts. The true word Venerable threatened, "I might not be your match, but stopping you for a moment to give Jiang Fan time to execute Princess Zai Jiang, that can still be done." The demoness also said, "With me added, it's more than enough." The combined effort of everyone forced the two-star giant king into a struggle. After a while, he gritted his teeth and said, "Fine, I'll spare you for today, but don't be happy, we will soon descend. You few are doomed to die in the end. HMPH. With a face of rage, he turned and leapt onto the connecting sky-black pillar heading upwards. He quickly vanished without a trace, his aura completely gone. Those who had been on guard for a long time began to gradually feel relieved. The demoness looked at Princess Zai Jiang in shock. "Little lord, even the daughter of the giant emperor has been captured by you. That's akin to the few young heroes and young heroines of heavenly state being captured by the ancient giants. That's a world-shaking event. How did you do it?" The true word Venerable felt a little proud upon hearing this. Jiang Fan seized her from a five-star giant king and Wu Gu. The process was extremely thrilling. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. The moment she finished speaking, she realized her mindset was wrong. She quickly closed her mouth. Jiang Fan wasn't her man. Why was she feeling proud for Jiang Fan? Green Pearl, however, was much calmer, having personally witnessed Jiang Fan's actions in the Black Sun royal court. She was ready to accept whatever he did. "It's thanks to you again this time," Green Pearl said gratefully, somewhat embarrassed. Jiang Fan playfully smiled. "So just now were you moved again to the point of wanting to be my real wife?" Green Pearl blushed, shyly and playfully punching him with her pink fist. "Who's going to be your real wife? Stop dreaming. Let's leave this place quickly." Before she could finish speaking, she sensed something and looked towards the connecting sky-black pillar, her face drastically changing. "Be careful." Behind the connecting sky-black pillar, unbeknownst to Wen, a monkey-sized black shadow was crouching. It was none other than the significantly reduced two-star Giant King. He hadn't left at all. Instead, he shrunk his body and hid behind the connecting sky-black pillar. While everyone was relaxing, he swiftly made his move. His arm instantly stretched to 10 yards long. Giving no chance for anyone to react, he seized the mirror from Jiang Fan's hand. "Not good." The true word Venerable's face changed drastically. The mirror was their protective Dharma treasure. Once taken, the two-star Giant King would have free rein to launch a massacre. She hurriedly activated the Phoenix Feather 9 Flames fan. The demoness also panicked, immediately activating the 7-mouthed round ring. Green Pearl was also startled. Despite her injuries, she activated Yin Qi to fiercely strike his rapidly retracting arm. The power unleashed by the 3 Venerates at once was earth-shattering. Even the two-star Giant King was in severe pain, emitting a fierce howl. His arm, under their attack, was bloodied and nearly severed. Especially at the elbow, only a few tendons remained attached. Yet the two-star Giant King, with powerful willpower, endured the intense pain and pulled back his forearm, urgently grabbing the mirror with the other hand from the severed hand. Seeing Princess Zaijiang unharmed inside, he showed a gleeful expression. With a leap, he jumped down from the connecting sky-black pillar. Thud! The ground shook violently, accompanied by his fierce aura sweeping out. His golden giant eyes fiercely glared at Jiang Fan. "Ha ha ha, didn't expect me to come back for a second round, did you? Using Princess Zaijiang to threaten me. You truly deserve to die." The true word Venerable and Demoness's complexions changed drastically, hurriedly shielding him. The two-star Giant King laughed coldly. "It's meaningless. No one can save him. Move the connecting sky-black pillar, seize Princess Zaijiang. These 2 actions will prompt the Giant Emperor to personally take action and destroy him. I want to collect a reward by bringing back his head." Ha ha ha! At this moment. Inside the mirror, Princess Zaijiang did not feel safe. She had been taken by a 5-star Giant King before, and Jiang Fan took her away. What could a 2-star Giant King do? She reminded. "Check the mirror for traps first. This Jiang Fan won't fall for it easily." Could one counterattack trick Jiang Fan? Princess Zaijiang didn't think Jiang Fan was someone who would be careless. The 2-star Giant King froze, immediately looking at the back of the mirror. Unseen if unchecked, but checking, he nearly had his soul scared out of him. Only to see, attached to the back of the mirror, was a mysterious demon liquid, adhering his hand to the mirror. No, this is not just mysterious demon liquid. There's something else inside, because his palm was visibly rotting rapidly. The 2-star Giant King's pupils shrank drastically, and he exclaimed in shock. "It's the venom of the Dark Knight Black Snake."